is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It's Wednesday, January 13th. Happy Hump Day. I'm Tori. I'm here with Jeff and Brandon, and Lindsay is joining us from home. Well, guys, it's a historic day as the president is set to be impeached for the second time in just 13 months. Now, the House began debate this morning, accusing the president of incitement of insurrection. A growing number of Republicans, though, are on board this time around, although many are saying it's unlikely that the Senate will vote to convict. So the question is, does this impeachment process feel different than the last time? Lindsay, I'm going to start with you on this, and also I just want to phrase this with the understanding Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, came out last night in favor of saying that the president did have impeachable offenses. That can turn a lot of establishment senators who are Republican to his side, which I thought was a big leak that he allowed the New York Times to hear from last night. What do you think about all this?
Yeah, I was blown away, actually, to find that out, that Mitch McConnell said that reportedly. But I don't think that this feels different intentionally, because we have a law and order president who allowed complete chaos and death to happen at the Capitol and is being accused of inciting it. You know, that's not law and order. That doesn't align with the Republican Party values at all. We have somebody that actually stood by passively and didn't call the National Guard and allowed this to happen. You know, I think that we have to look at this and understand that this is a breaking point for somebody like Mitch McConnell. Yeah. This is a breaking point for most of America. And so I know that something that we always talk about is that even people that may have voted for Trump a second time don't want to align themselves with exactly what happened last Wednesday, because for obvious reasons. I mean, people were killed. Officers were killed while they were protecting the people that were fighting for our Constitution and doing a constitutional duty. So, yeah, it feels different because they're actually voting on impeachment at an active crime scene.
Yeah, and I also think, Jeff, I want to get your point is, do you think that having gone through that security fear, and they had to be in a lockdown with guns out, changed people's minds? Like, did Mitch McConnell have to go through that to realize this is a big deal? I think I need to break. The purge needs to happen with the Trump presidency.
I'm sure that has a lot to do with it, right? I'm sure that has something to do with it. I think a lot of people in general, I don't know about the government, heads, but I'm just talking about the public in general.
Yeah.
They don't want to just deface the statue in this case. They want to knock it over, right? And that's what I think the impeachment process is. We have 6 days left till we transfer presidents, but I think they want to see the process of that statue falling for their own peace of mind. And I'm for it. Go for it. You know, if that's what our country needs to heal, we should do that. And I do think that we should look into a little bit more, other than just the president, of why there wasn't security there. I think one person doesn't make that call. I think it's a pecking order.
100%. We want I think an independent investigation into what was infiltrated, who planned what. Apparently, allegedly, there were maps handed out. I mean, the Capitol is a confusing place, and they knew where they were going immediately. How do you feel about this, Brandon?
Well, I felt the same way we felt the last time about the impeachment, because he can be impeached in the House again, but we still need senators. So there's a lot of Republican senators to cross that line. And Tori, there's a lot of misinformation going out on social media right now when it comes to that. I'm asking you, can you clear that up for that? What needs to happen for him to be impeached in the Senate?
So that's a great point. So impeachment, just so you guys know, just means the House has voted. It then goes to the Senate, and if we have a conviction, which has never happened, he gets kicked out of office with a 2/3 vote. So that means we need 17 senators that are Republican to cross over and vote for Trump to be kicked out of the office. Now, a lot of people have been writing me and saying, does that mean now he isn't allowed to run again? They then need to take a second vote, that's a majority-only vote, 51 votes, to say your sentence is you can't run again. So that's a second vote, just so you guys know. And I want to get to some comments. I'm trying to get to some comments that we have here.
But while you're waiting and while you're looking, I'll pose the question again. Now that some of those Republican congressmen and women had to be sheltered in place like that, and they see a lot of people have come out and said that they feared for their lives. Do you think that that's that fear for that 17 to cross those party lines?
I think it was a trigger. Yeah,
so?
To me, it crossed the line. I think so. But you guys are writing in. Keith says, just like the people that's losing their jobs for being on site, Trump should lose his job as well. Only fair these people were doing what they were told or encouraged to do. Jane said, no, he's not responsible for the actions of the people that did this. Diane says, get him out before he creates more carnage. And Mark says, still trying to find the video where President Trump actually said to go break into the Capitol and vandalize. It's a lot of where you draw the line on inciting or yelling fire in an open theater. Real quick, I want to show you guys this. We just got video in. This is the Capitol now, and this is the National Guard that's been called in for the inauguration, January 20th. They're sleeping on the grounds, and when the representatives had to come in, they had to walk over these guys. They ordered 10,000 troops to be there. This is a new fence being put up. That's, I believe, that's on the National Mall. That's never happened before. January 20th is a day that I'm not trying to incite anything. I want us just to all be very careful. I'm concerned, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say that. I think it's something we all have to be on guard about. I really do. Well, we all know this pandemic has been so difficult on frontline workers. Well, it's also been really hard on the people covering it. Seeing the grief firsthand, case in point, this emotional reaction from a CNN correspondent, Sarah Sneidner. She had it on live TV. Let's take a look.
You know, this is the 10th hospital that I have been. I'm sorry. This is the 10th. I apologize. I'm going to try to get through this. This is the 10th hospital that I have been in. And to see the way that these families have to live after this and the heartache that goes so far and so wide. It's really hard to take.
Gosh. Afterwards, Sneidner tweeted, "Not my proudest moment as a reporter, but I could not hold this back." Lindsay, I hate to call you out, but I do know that you did have a moment on TV in which you sort of let things go, and that's encouraging our show to be real. How do you feel and sympathize with this reporter? What do you think?
Well, I think it's totally different because we're a talk show where we're doing analysis, commentary, and when I was a reporter, it would be even tougher on me and my career if I just broke down crying. So I do send love to her because I know that you try to be objective and try to just give people the facts. You don't want to convey too much emotion. You just kind of want to be the liaison that tells the people exactly what's going on. So I know as somebody who's just, which is why she probably said it wasn't her proudest moment,
right.
Where on the contrary, if I broke down crying, I don't mind that. That doesn't, it doesn't matter whether it's proud or not proud it happened, and I'm on a show where we discuss topics. So as a reporter, I do send my heart out to her because that's hard. You know, you're just trying to go there and really explain what's going on and show people, give people an inside view at exactly what their world looks like. And she's a human being also, so it's tough to also be objective and to not be human in those moments.
Wow. Yeah, Marquita Baker, Jeff says it's just so overwhelming. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's reality, right? It's what somebody's going through. And again, I hate saying social media all the time, but I think it's such a huge problem. And it takes the emotions out of things, right? It's not how you communicate. That is pain and suffering. That is someone who is seeing it firsthand and is going through it firsthand. That's what you're supposed to see through another human being. Emotion. Empathy, that's what human beings do. Then you empathize. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe the way I'm acting is wrong. When you see videos like that, it's real. When you communicate, again, I'm sorry. If you communicate on this, you're not feeling that emotion. You don't have that empathy. There's actually more anger involved. So seeing that, I think we even as a show, try to put up walls. Don't listen to this. Take your children out of the room. No. Sit there and watch this. This is what's going on in America. So listen, I empathize with her. I feel bad for her.
And you're saying we're trying to put up the walls for the viewer at home. Just think, we're the ones that have to report on it. We're the ones that have to talk about it. And when I see her breaking down like that, I think of the fight or flight response. In this industry, the flight not being run away from something, but being empathetic and her breaking down. I've been honest about a lot of these stories we have done. I have been upset and I have been ready to get physical in a sense. Now, I am not proud of that. I'm ashamed of myself for that, but we are all still humans up here at the same time. I am a black man. I am a proud American before I am a DBL panelist. And so I understand and I can empathize with what she's going through.
Yeah, I hear all of you, and I just think also 10 hospitals. I grew up in hospitals with my mom, and after a while, it's just the same halls, the same death, the same calls of Code Blue, and it becomes your life. And 4,500 people died yesterday, and we're not sort of contemplating that, and I think I completely empathize with her as well. It's good to see humanity. It really is. Lindsay, stick around. Coming up on DBL, some really good videos that you'll have feeling good this Wednesday. Who doesn't love a celebration caught on camera? And we're talking Ghostbusters Afterlife. Star Ernie Hudson is talking to Jeff about the exciting new reboot and Bill Murray's off-screen antics. Welcome back to DBL. There's a lot going on in the world. So now more than ever, we need some feel-good stories.
Yes,
Remember
we
mac
do.
and cheese? We need some mac and cheese stories. We've got a couple of viral videos that promise to make you smile. So up first, check out this great news one teen got about his application to one Duke University.
Status update?
Status update.
Oh, it said welcome Frank, and I was like, oh.
Let's go!
Oh, we got a video coming in when she got that tuition bill. They were jumping around like that.
Lindsay's all
Maybe we'll play it at the break.
Oh man, that's true, but good on that. All right, Lindsay, take a look at this one. Along that same theme, check out this mom's reaction. She finds out her son, I love this one, passed the bar exam, became a lawyer. Take a look at this.
Hallelujah! 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 Father God, in the name of Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Bless your mighty name.
Oh, Lindsay, what do you think?
I mean, that's amazing. These moments are like the times that are so big for everybody. You know, you're just like waiting on some results that are that big that change your life forever or what you decide to do. So I'm kind of going back to those moments. I remember when I was like waiting, hoping that I get into all the colleges that I applied to, and then you get some no's, some yeses, and it's just really exciting. So that's a beautiful thing to like reminisce about.
Definitely. I tried, when I thought I was getting into Brown, I put all my family memorabilia at Brown University on the bed. I had candles lit. The letter came, no.
Don't worry about it, Tori. Don't worry. It happens to all of us.
It was so sad. Did you get into every college?
No.
Did you
Why did I get in every
well, some
college?
people only apply to like 2 or 3 that are like, they know they're going to get in.
I definitely didn't like candles. Let's just put it that way.
put it
but
that way.
I kind of like that a lot of my life wasn't on tape, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you know when I scored that touchdown? I just ran in there, right, if you see the video. But now, I jumped over 6 guys, and I
can
pushed one
make
out
it
of the way, and I was wearing a helmet with horns, not just a regular helmet, and I jumped in. It was great. So I could go back and tell those fish stories a little bit. When it's on tape, you're like, that's it?
And there's always those videos you think of, like me, of they get it and they don't get in, and they're like, oh, we've got video. Oh.
I wish we had that.
Yeah, well, you know what? It taught me a good lesson. I didn't get in. I went to University of Michigan. I had a terrible time, and I learned to be independent and proud of myself and get into some therapy.
Taught you how to save some candles.
That's exactly right. Coming up on DBL, major nostalgia when Jeff chats with Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters. He's telling us all about the upcoming reboot that mixes the old with the new, proton packs and all.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
Welcome back to DBL. Ernie Hudson famously played Dr. Winston Zeddemore in Ghostbusters, and later this year he'll strap on his proton pack once again in Ghostbusters Afterlife. I caught up with Ernie. He's a great guy in today's Chatting with the Stars. Ernie Hudson, Happy New Year and welcome to DBL. Now let's get right into this. First of all, Ernie, you look fantastic. We're going to get there later. But Ghostbusters Afterlife is set to release in 2021.
It has a gunner seat?
And includes original cast members Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Sigourney Weaver. So where does this film fit in the whole Ghostbusters universe, Ernie?
Okay, well, you know, the wonderful thing about this new movie is it is a continuation of years later, here we are. So it's still in the original two movies universe.
Whoa, killer replica.
A replica of what?
A ghost trap?
I love it. Now, Ernie, some actors star in a movie and the character ends there. But your character, Dr. Winston Zeddemore, has stuck with you for 36 years now. What has it been like to be a character for that long and look exactly the same?
Well, you know, I'll take your word on the looking exactly the same. When I went up to shoot the new movie, I saw Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd in their jumpsuits and Sigourney Weaver and Annie Potts and met the new cast. I realized just how impactful this movie has been on my life and my career. And it was actually very emotional.
Did you ever think Ghostbusters would be what it is today?
I knew the movie would be a hit, but normally a movie does well in the box office and then it disappears after a few months and then you go on to the next thing. But after this lasted 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years, that was a real surprise.
What can you tell us, Ernie, about some of the behind-the-scenes antics of your Ghostbuster co-stars? I'm reading something here in the prompter. Is this right? There was some kind of late-night massages going on, Ernie?
Yeah, you know, Bill Murray, he's such a wonderful friend. I love him so much. And he, as a gift to the cast, he gave us a Thai massage. He arranged it. So I should have been aware when everybody else said no, thank you. But when I got to the hotel, there's a masseuse there with her table. And she comes in the room and she digs so deep into my body. It's just so painful. And I was too embarrassed to yell out. And when we finished up and went in the hallway, Bill Murray's out there. He says, "Wasn't it great, Ernie?" And so he asked, "Can you come back tomorrow morning at 8? Well, it's already 3 o'clock in the morning. And she comes back the next day and she keeps digging. And when she leaves, my wife says, "Oh my God, you're bleeding." She had ripped the skin off my back. And now I have scars on both of my shoulders from this massage that Bill Murray arranged for me. But you live and learn.
When you want mercy, yell for mercy. Say stop.
Yeah, definitely. Or when Bill Murray offers it, just answer some questions before you do it.
I love it. All right, Ernie, your newest film is called Redemption Day. Now, after the year that we had in 2020 with the virus, the social upheaval, and political differences, what does redemption mean to you, Ernie?
And so in the movie, it's really about a soldier who's fought in the military, the Marines, is suffering from PTSD, trying to hold his life together and not unravel. And then his wife is kidnapped and he has to go into this rescue mission. And I'm his dad and really concerned about my son and not really sure he's going to be able to make it through. Well, redemption for me is, okay, we've been down a certain path and now we have to go through some changes to redeem ourselves and come out into a better place.
You let us forget our troubles for a while when we watch you in movies like Redemption Day, which is in theaters now, and Ghostbusters Afterlife later this year. Ernie Hudson, I can't believe I'm talking to you watching Ghostbusters when I was a little kid. Now I'm talking to Ernie. It's been amazing, Ernie, and thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much, man. Great talking to you. Stay safe and healthy.
I love it. Best of luck to you, Ernie. We'll be right back, everybody.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. Quabena from Facebook says, what difference does it make by kicking Trump out of office? It's the system that has to be totally changed. Bill said, I cried like a baby when I got into university, and I never cry. And Patricia says, why don't we see the videos of kids who don't get into their school? Thank you. Right? I want to see the tears. Lindsay, would you like that?
Yeah, I mean, no, I wouldn't want to see people who don't get it. I was really sad. I thought it was going to be the end of my life. I wouldn't be able to follow my dreams. You know, nothing was going to work out. Syracuse was a school that turned me down, and then I went to Temple University, but it all worked out. So just like you, Tori, there's a silver lining.
No,
silver lining, man.
You have to show the kids adversity. Look what happened to you two. Yeah. You got rejected. Now you're sitting up here on a panel with me and Jeff Schroeder. It made you work harder.
I agree with you. And it made me go to a dark, dark place and learn I can climb out of it. You're absolutely absolutely right. Kenneth says, no mac and cheese, please.
I want to tell Jeff, I know this is really random, but I was just watching that last interview, and I really thoroughly enjoyed that Ghostbuster interview.
It was
So
good,
I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
I was sitting here drinking my tea like, wow, what a great interview.
You know what? I'm glad you said that, because when you see a great interview, it's not me, it's that person. That guy, Ernie, talked to me before and after the interview. There was a lot of stuff cut out. What an amazing person. I love Ernie Hudson. Thanks for saying that.
And may I say, great interview. But may I say, he has aged quite well.
I also said that off the top. I go,
wow.
Ernie Hudson, you look exactly the same.
You look beautiful. Exactly the same. All right. Well, we want to wish you all the best. It's a crazy day. Stay sane. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Status update?
Status update.
Oh, it said welcome Frank, and I was like, oh.
Talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Today, the House moves to impeach President Trump for a second time. But will it be different for round two, with even Mitch McConnell supporting his end in office? A reporter reaches her breaking point on live TV.
I apologize. I'm going to try to get through this.
What had her in tears? In today's True Crime Chronicles, the case of a former MMA fighter charged in the double murder of his ex-girlfriend and friend.
In my gut, in my heart, I knew it was him.
Could he be connected to other disappearances? And Real Housewife Shannon Beador dishes on her former castmates.
I just asked for you to keep it rolling because that tea you just served was piping hot.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, January 13th. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Al. Tori joining us from home. Tori, we match in our pinstripes and we didn't even plan it.
Oh my God, we're super fancy today.
Yep, great minds think alike. Okay, so let's get right to it because today is a very big day. It's actually a historic day. They are voting today on whether to impeach the president for the second time in just 13 months. The House began debating this morning, accusing the president of, quote, incitement of insurrection. So the question is, does this impeachment process feel different than the last time? Are we expecting a different result? Tori?
Let me be very clear. The president will be impeached. They already have the votes. They have enough people to take it in the House of Representatives. But remember, that doesn't mean much because after impeachment, you move to the Senate, and they have to convict in the Senate. I want you guys to keep your eyes on Mitch McConnell. He last night leaked to the New York Times, there's no way this got out without him wanting it to, that he thinks the president committed impeachable offenses. I could not explain to you how big that news is. He is the rudder of that ship, of the GOP ship, and if he turns his head to say, yes, let's convict, expect a domino effect in the Senate. Now, remember, they can also hold that conviction in the Senate after Joe Biden has taken the oath of office January 20th. They can do it afterwards, and I think that's what we're going to see.
Tori, I was going to ask, I thought I heard it, but I wanted to make sure that the impeachment can continue on after the Biden administration has completely taken over and he's no longer president-elect?
Yes, and Joe Biden spoke to Mitch McConnell last night, according to sources, and asked if they could affirm and consent his advisors on the cabinet at the same time they hold the Senate conviction. And he said, I'll get right back to you after speaking to the parliamentarian. So everyone seems to be on the same page. The purge of this GOP party from Trump has begun. Expect resignation or pardons to follow also.
Wow. How are you feeling, Jeff?
Is that a good idea, you think, Tori? Like, if this goes on into the Biden administration, is that something like the country, the Senate, the House, the government, do we really want that? Is that a good thing to finally find justice, or do we want to be done with this guy?
It's a really great question, but to be really done with this guy, a lot of you ask me, can he serve again? Can he run in 2024? And if the senators convict him, they then need a majority vote, which they would already have because it's 2/3, to say he can never hold office again. I think McConnell wants to put that period on the sentence and end the Trump era for the Republicans.
And I know, too, Republicans, Democrats, a lot of people just want accountability, and a lot of people want precedent for their children and for their grandchildren. So we can make sure that history doesn't repeat itself. So I know that's where I'm coming from.
Well, it's looking to repeat itself on the 20th, Sam.
Well, we will see. I hope not.
I mean, that's the talk. That's what the FBI is saying, and it's really scary. And Jeff, to your point, should we be done with this guy? Because I get that logic. Like this guy's moving out of the apartment. Let's not cause any more trouble. I think we have to set a precedent because of what happened. I meant to put on our group thread that we should have all watched the assault on the Capitol. It's on ABC. But when you watch that, you'll understand why it's so important that some people pay for what happened in there, because we were minutes away from what I believe to be a mass casualty event.
Got to call it what it is. We are getting a lot of comments, and I always want to involve DBL Nation. So right here we have Patty on Facebook saying, I feel he should be impeached since he did the unthinkable as president by inciting a riot. Susan says, I'd rather we all stop talking about him. Let his time run out and the law deal with him. That's my opinion. You're not alone with that opinion either. And Laura says, no, he should not be impeached. He said to rally, not riot. Complete waste of money. Well, I guess we will have to agree to disagree, and that's okay. That's what the show is all about. So we all know this pandemic has been beyond difficult, actually unthinkably difficult on frontline workers. It's also been really hard on the people covering it, seeing the grief firsthand. So case in point, the emotional reaction CNN correspondent Sarah Seidner had on live TV. Watch.
This is the 10th hospital that I have been. I'm sorry. This is the 10th. I apologize. I'm going to try to get through this. This is the 10th hospital that I have been in. And to see the way that these families have to live after this and the heartache that goes so far and so wide. It's really hard to take.
Wow. Afterwards, Seidner tweeted, not my proudest moment as a reporter, but I could not hold this back. That breaks my heart for her. I can't even imagine what it must be like to be in news where you're supposed to be emotionless, right? Non-biased. You can never let your hair down. You can never speak from the cuff and from the heart like we do. And look at all the emotion that we hold on this show. And we're allowed to actually speak our feelings on this show. So I can't imagine what she must be going through. I do not think she's owed an apology.
No, I don't think so. And I think that's real, right? I think we kind of put Band-Aids on things and mask, especially in today's day and age. I hate to compare everything to social media, you guys know, but it's like, That's a way of communicating. You see a person, you're empathetic to what that person is going through, not because she's a reporter or she's a she, whatever. You're empathetic to that human being as a person because of what they're going through. This doesn't communicate that, right? You write something on social media, it doesn't communicate that in 140 characters. We're missing that emotion. We're putting Band-Aids on everything. It's okay, Jimmy. You got 10th place. You're a winner in my book. No, Jimmy, you're in 10th place, buddy. That's the reality, and we don't want to teach our kids that anymore. I don't want to go on a tirade because people don't like that. So you guys talk. Sorry.
I'll just say, Jeff, I think we saw a human moment. I think that's why I always look sometimes when I'm bored, I'll look at news bloopers. Like, that's how I get that. Yes. Thank you, Tori. I'd love to see news bloopers, and I know it seems like, well, why would I compare that to this? I think that people look at news bloopers and look at serious moments like this because it's one of those few moments where you get to see real humanity on TV, things that are not documented. As I'm watching her clip, I remember back to when we covered the Thousand Oaks shooting and they were talking to that father, and everybody on the panel could not speak. I mean, it was maybe, it just really got to me in a way that very few things ever could. And that was a real human moment, and the people working here said, don't hide that. And I like to see that she is emoting how we all feel. Let's all stop saying we're fine because nobody is fine. No one.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because Tori, you know, COVID has affected all of us, right? And we cover it, and you think that you can escape whatever you're dealing with at home, whether you yourself or your family's had COVID or my family has COVID right now. I'll just call it what it is. They're going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. But,
we love you, Sam.
Thank you. I love you too. But the sobering moment for me, though, Tori, was just knowing how nervous I am about my family, and I'm lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones because I'm not treating COVID patients on top of that. So I think of the frontline healthcare workers who are also dealing with listening to COVID all day long. Perhaps they have family members that are sick or struggling with COVID as they speak. And then they have to go in and they have to hold someone's hand who has COVID. So that's the reality that this country is dealing with and this world is dealing with right now. And I have so much empathy for her. I'm so glad that she had that human moment because millions of us can relate to her now.
100%. And to be honest with you, I grew up in hospitals because of my mom. And when you go to 10 hospitals and you see the same hallways filled with the same people yelling code blue, rushing, the sound of coughing, it becomes almost an overwhelming sense like you're in war. I mean, it's almost a trauma. So she saw a lot, and I'm glad she was able to express herself because she related to a lot of us that moment.
Amen. Amen. And thoughts to her because I know that she's feeling guilty for some reason.
And thoughts to you too, Sam. You're dealing with this as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need to speak
Sam,
on that.
We love you.
Yeah.
We love you and we love your family.
I'm a nervous wreck for my family right now, but they will be okay. They will be okay. They will be okay. Tori, sorry, I'm like at a loss for words right now. Hold on. Okay, Tori, stick around. We know those were some tough stories, so we're gonna lighten things up. Coming up, some great videos that'll make you feel good. We all could use some tender moments, of course, during these tough times. Plus, it's a wrap on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Wait till you find out what they gave their crew members as parting gifts. And Real Housewives of Orange County star Shannon Beador, she's spilling some major tea on one of her current castmates.
Welcome back to DBL. The Real Housewives of Orange County wraps up its season tonight on Bravo. But earlier, Erica caught up with housewife Shannon Beador to dish all the drama. That's today's Chatting with the Stars.
Shannon Beador is coming in hot to DBL. How are you, Shannon?
I'm great. How are you?
I am wonderful. So I told you I am a huge Bravo-holic, so I am all about this. I watch every week. So, of course, at the beginning of the season, we realized that you had gone to the Un Amiga because the Tres Amigas were no longer as your former besties. Tamara Judge and the OG of the OC, Vicky Gumbelson, didn't return for this season. So how is the vibe different this time around?
Well, I mean, for me starting out, it was a little bit difficult because I really came into filming without a lot of close bonds with any of the women. I spent a lot of time with Bronwyn prior to filming, and I felt like I was close to Gina, but you know, I didn't know Elizabeth and Kelly and Emily, and I weren't getting along. So it was a little difficult.
Right now you have Bronwyn Wyndham Burke, who is going through a lot of transitions. She's decided to become sober. Congratulations to her. But she's also made a major life transition, although she's still married to her husband, Sean, but she's decided to pursue a relationship with a woman. Now, a lot of people are calling her actions disingenuous. How do you feel about it?
She's entitled to do whatever she wants to do. It's, you know, just a lot of it is, you look at the timing. You know, and sometimes it just seems like the timing is just a little too premeditated. After last season, Bronwyn told many of the cast members that her first season, like all this stuff about her wasn't true. She did it just to get on the show. She wasn't an author. That Love Shack thing was just a bunch of BS. And we're like, what?
That tea you just served was piping hot, so thank you so much for that. Now, I do want to address, obviously, we're still in a pandemic, and we saw how things rolled out for you guys in real time. We're very happy to hear that you and your family have recovered and that you're doing well. But how do you think you were vulnerable in a way that we had no information and we're seeing you guys go through it in real time? Would you have changed anything that you did at the beginning of COVID?
Oh my goodness, like if I could just replay COVID all over again, because my girls and I were blessed that the virus never even went into my lungs because I have lung damage in each one. And so my fear that I was literally overcome by, especially at the beginning of COVID, was that it's not about that I cared about myself, it was that I wasn't gonna be around to be a mom for my kids. I mean, and that just petrified me. But I ate and drank. Like, I just wanted to escape. I didn't, you know, we're watching the news and they say we're gonna see a lot of death this week. And there were so many unknowns. I was overrun by fear. So I'm not happy about that. I'm not proud of it. So, you know, 2021 is here and Shannon Storms is making some changes.
Well, Shannon Beador, girl, I want to wish you a happy new year. Thank you for all the laughs and the drama on the OC all these years. And DBL Nation, you have to catch the season finale of The Real Housewives of Orange County tonight on Bravo. Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to DBL. There's a lot going on in the world. So now more than ever, we definitely need some feel-good stories, myself included. So we've got a couple of viral videos that promise to make you smile. At first, check out the great news one teen got about his application to Duke.
Status update?
Status update.
Oh, it said welcome Frank, and I was like, oh.
Oh my gosh, amen. All that hard work, sacrifice, blood, sweat, and tears. Boom, he got into his dream school.
How great is that? I remember when I got into Duke, it was, no, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, yeah, no, I don't even want to talk about me and this young man. That's so inspiring. And like, I just hope other young people see that. Like, that's how you get props, is like getting into Duke after you worked your butt off.
Yeah. And then when he's 30, he's like, I can't believe I'm still paying for Duke.
Ain't that the real truth? Okay, so next, along that same theme, Tori, check out this mom's reaction as she finds out her son passed the bar exam. Tori, how many times did you dream of taking the bar?
It's no joke, Sam. It's still on my vision board as to pass the bar. No joke. But I will say that the bar is harder than probably almost any test. It's over a couple days. It makes you a lawyer. Some bars are harder than others. So that emotion is all that person studied straight for like months for that news. So it's a huge deal. But I was telling Al and Jeff earlier, I lit some candles to get into Brown when I thought I got the letter and prayed, and then I opened the letter and I did not get in.
Oh, Tori, that's tough.
Way to end this segment, Tori.
Yeah. What a downer.
Wow. But you know what?
When you were applying to school, now it's different with sports. I know for me personally, because swimming, I was like going to a school specifically for swimming. And it's a long story, but you don't have to necessarily apply. So for me, at least as a swimmer, did you have to go through that as a football player?
I was going anywhere that they would take me.
Okay.
But you got in.
I got into a Division III school.
But
yeah,
why are you knocking it down, Jeff? You played college football, man. How many people can say that? That's a really great thing, man. Don't take that away from yourself.
Well, I didn't learn as much in school as I did today with Tori's example of the bar exam makes you a lawyer. I don't think anyone knew that.
Well, maybe someone doesn't know that. Tori.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people probably don't know that graduating law school doesn't automatically make you a lawyer.
That's a great point.
I think that is a weird, and then it's different in different states, and you can't practice law in a state you haven't practiced passed the bar in. So it's
so if you get your real estate license, are you a real estate agent?
That's different.
You are the worst, Jeffrey Schroeder.
It's okay, Tori, exhale. All is good. Don't go away. Coming up on DBL, Jennifer Lopez is letting the world in on her anti-aging secrets. Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Why her routine speaks volumes about her discipline. Do not miss it.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Viral videos. 2 people removed from flights with claims saying they were put on the no-fly list following their participation in the Capitol riots last week. So is this true? Were these people put on a federal no-fly list? Well, to find out, we checked with United, American, and Southwest Airlines, as well as the Transportation Security Administration, or TSA. Short answer here, no. These people in the videos weren't removed because they were placed on a no-fly list. They were removed for breaking the airline's policies. United Airlines confirmed to us that in the last week alone, they've banned 60 people from flights for refusing to wear masks. The no-fly list, on the other hand, is actually up to the TSA. And according to them, they enforce the no-fly list based on FBI requests and congressional authorizations. See, no-fly restrictions are actually enforced before you try to get on a plane, but these people are all in the airport. If you're on a federal no-fly list, airlines shouldn't even issue a boarding pass and you won't make it through security. So these people got to their flights, something happened, and the airlines removed them from the flight, which means claims these people were banned from their flight because they were put on the federal no-fly list are false. There are calls from some members of Congress right now to add any known convicted Capitol riot participants to that federal no-fly list, but as of now, that hasn't happened. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
Welcome back to DBL. Okay, we love sharing your comments. Denise says we all suffered due to COVID. I know because my wife passed on November 21st. I'm so sorry to hear that, Dennis. All I have to say is practice social distancing, wear your mask. We have to look out for one another. Amen. Again, very sorry for your loss, Dennis. Donna says, Sam, we love you. I hope your family is okay and has a fast recovery. Thank you. And Robin says, sending love and good vibes. Sam, my family will be okay. They will be okay. It's just hard when it's literally all of them, right?
Yeah. It's I think we need to address this, and I don't want you to hide your tears, Sam. Our country is in this weird place, and this whole like keep your chin up, kid attitude is not going to work. We need to start talking to our citizens about serious mental health long term. My girl said last week, we are all traumatized from this. Our kids are not going to know how to interact with other kids. Everything that we've taught and interacted is gone. And we cannot attack each other on Twitter and say that here's a link to click on. No, we need to talk to our people about, what are you doing, Jeff? Are you okay? I love you. What do we need to do? Like, let's not go get drinks, because that's the last thing we need to do. We need to start talking about whether our brains are functioning normally after 2 years of trauma.
Listen, I preach it every day, and I think it's something we need to address.
Since we started the show.
Communication, empathy for what you're going through, Sam, and I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Thank you. It's going to be okay. they're okay. If you're sticking around, here's what's coming up on DBL. Did a former MMA fighter have anything to do with the death of his ex-girlfriend? That's in True Crime Chronicles. And Jennifer Lopez's insane diet and routine to stay sexy at 51. Sign me up for that.
Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Al. Tori joining us from home. Before we get started, I just want to thank you guys and, of course, all of our viewers for just all your support. We truly are all in this together. I appreciate you guys all more than I think we'll ever know. Okay, so
we love you.
I love you too, Tori.
Don't steal my answer, Tori.
And I love our DBL Nation. You guys are absolutely the best. And I'm sending all my thoughts and prayers to all of you who are going through it as well. We will get through this. It's officially a wrap on the filming of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The reality show family reportedly gave their production crew, you ready for this? A very pricey parting gift. According to TMZ, they spent $300,000 on 30 Rolex watches for the staff. On Friday, Kim toasted the crew in her backyard on their last day of filming the iconic show after 15 years, 20 seasons. Wow. Her sister Courtney also posted this behind-the-scenes shot of her last interview for the show. Wow, talk about a parting gift. You know our executive producer who loves Rolexes would have died. I would have pawned that in a second.
He helped me get mine in
a second.
Sam, I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to look at him, but this is how sure I am of what I'm about to say. Jeff, what do most quarterbacks get their offensive linemen at the end of a season?
I was going to actually go there, too. Yeah, they get them watches. Yeah.
Talk to them for what? Why?
Yeah, they get them nice watches. Just for their...
The timing?
No, it's not symbolic.
I thought it was like a double entendre.
It's just usually like if a quarterback has a good season, they usually just gift their offensive lineman for protecting them, right? And a lot of people are going to look at this and say $300,000. That's all they spent. They're worth billions, right?
A lot of money.
Well, I know, but I think people out there,
of course,
not very chipper, should I say, on the internet.
Especially when it comes to the Kardashians.
Yeah, of course. And I think it's just a nice parting gift. They didn't have to do that. It has nothing to do with the price, how expensive it was. It was a thank you gift, just like a quarterback, Al, gives to his offensive lineman.
But a lot of people are struggling for money right now. I wouldn't be surprised if other people, Tori, would take a page from my book and they would sell it.
I could totally see that, but I think the Kardashians would be fine with that. What's interesting is these guys grew up Like, they grew up with Kylie, with Kendall, like decades of time with the same mic person, the same sound person, the same camera person. They've been there for the hardest times in their life and the funniest times. So I understand. I think that's a gracious gift. And I think also maybe because of the hands, they were saying, thanks for lending a hand, like on the watch.
Tori, see, you're all in the double. Yeah, you get it too.
I think we're reading into that a little bit.
I guarantee you there's symbolism. Guaranteed there's symbolism.
It's not a cave wall, Sam. It's a watch. What do you mean you're reading into it?
That's really sad that you don't read into it.
It's a watch.
Albert Jackson. So when I put a lot of thought into your gifts, which I do, you're just going to say, oh, Sam just got me a pocket square?
No,
in reality,
but I'm not going to look at the box and say, Sam means that the whole world is encased in this. And when I open it, it's really my feelings coming out along with the pocket square.
Or
I'll be like, you got me a nice pocket square.
Maybe I got you a nice pocket square because there's been some incidents where I've helped you place the pocket square. So that was like a symbolic relationship
because
between
that's never happened before.
Yes,
You've never placed my pocket square.
Yes, I did.
If we can find any footage of that, I will quit the show tomorrow.
She definitely has.
I definitely have.
She has.
How dare you not remember?
My
that
pocket square
me.
game stays on 10.
Oh my
It's good. Look how locked in it is right there, just like me, locked in.
You don't remember the time, actually, one of the many times I did it on the show and I accidentally crossed our 6 feet?
I thought that was my mic.
No, honey, that was your pocket square.
All right, one time.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. Okay, looking like Jennifer Lopez does at 51, let me tell you, I guess it doesn't come easy. According to the Daily Mail, J-Lo sticks to a strict diet of about 1,400 calories a day. So that includes clean food, like fresh berries, kale, low-fat proteins. She also eats vegan when she wants to detox. She also stays out of the sun, except for when she's posting pics like this on the beach. Wow. She's a big fan of working out, hitting the gym 3 to 4 times a day, and has 2 trainers, one based in New York, the other based in LA, who is a well-known trainer to the stars, Tracy Anderson. Woo, that's a lot of work, but she looked good.
Listen, I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating kale, that's for sure. But here's my point.
Kick her out of bed?
What?
What do you mean kick her out of bed?
Well, I'm going to get there, okay? I'm going to take this to a dating point of view, right?
I like it.
Okay. I'm married, right? But would I be married to someone that works out 4 times a day, takes 1,400 calories in a day, that eats kale? I'm like, listen, it's Friday, let's have some wine, let's have a steak. It's Sunday, let's go get pizza and burgers with the kids. That's if someone was like, no, I'm going to eat kale and I'll meet you at the gym, I'm going in for a 4th time, that's going to affect our relationship. Even though Jennifer Lopez is so beautiful, right? It's going to affect my relationship.
However,
that's where I'm going with that.
But I think J-Lo, remember, is with a type A athlete, right? She's with A-Rod. So those two go together really well.
What does that have anything to do with anything?
I think he works out 4 times a day, too.
Who cares if he
I think he does what he's told. That's what I think happens.
I think that we're all missing the point, and it's the fact that...
Dang, Jeff.
First of all, whatever's happening with Sam next to me, I love it.
I like that they're like, showing me I accidentally fell.
I just looked at the TV and I saw you shrinking down. And I was like, am I getting taller as I'm speaking?
Go ahead.
I would just say this. I'm glad, Jeff, you talked about the working out and Tori. That was all good. Are we not going to address the fact that she had J-Lo on the back of her beach robe like she was Ric Flair?
Calf can.
That was super embarrassing. Anybody I know that has their name on the back of their clothing, that's a wrap.
It's amazing.
For me.
No, it's not amazing, Tori. No. I'm with Al on that one.
Thank you. That's super embarrassing. And stop kissing up, Tori. She's not coming on the show.
That reeks narcissism. And I'm with you, Jeff. I've always said, you know, like when they show like a beautiful body like Zac Efron, don't, Al. Al says he doesn't have a beautiful body. Now, Zac Efron, to me, has a beautiful body. To me, I like a little, you know, dirt under the nails, little pudge, because I think
I'm right here, Sam.
I think going to the gym every day is just not appealing to me. I'd rather have the person that I know on Friday night, we're gonna eat chips, salsa, a little margarita, not staring at themselves in the mirror, not like super careful and super conscientious. I like that they're health conscious, but to me, when it becomes too physically driven,
I think people need a
turn
routine though, Sam.
Not that extreme, that's extreme.
J-Lo, if you've ever seen J-Lo behind the scenes, like getting ready for the Super Bowl or anything like a music video, she goes like this, she'll be like this, do it again, do it again. She rehearses until her toes bleed.
Yeah,
so that's just her type of person.
She's a hustler, for sure. Okay, so Rob Lowe revealed he spotted his very famous neighbor recently speaking on the Late Late Show with James Corden. Rob said he saw Prince Harry at a stoplight driving to his Montecito home near Santa Barbara, but said he noticed something different about the Duke. Watch.
It looked to me, as a casual observer, that his hair had grown very long and was pulled back very tightly by what I can only assume was a ponytail.
I'm certain that isn't true. Do you know what I think's happened? I think you didn't see Prince Harry.
Oh, no, it was him, because I have to say I followed him to the house to see if the car went in.
I once did that to Brad Pitt. We don't have any, I'll get to it. Hold up, Jeff and Al, I'll get to it. We don't have any photos of the prince's new do. This is what we imagine he would look like with a ponytail.
If he was attacked by a cardinal? Why is his hair that color?
I wonder if Al and Jeff could pull off the pone. We have some photos of you two.
I would like to rock one. I'm not even lying.
Let's see Jeff with the pone. Oh, a baby pone.
That looks dope.
That's not a bad look.
You look really
You
not
could be
cool.
just like a guru.
You do not look cool.
Yeah, sure.
Nope.
Say that to the pone.
No.
Talk to the pone. That's all I would say.
That's a weird, perky hipster pone. I'm not into it.
He could have a following with that. Jeff could have a congregation.
A following. It would have its own Instagram page.
Yeah, Jeff's here.
Oh my gosh. Let's see Al's pone.
Let's see.
Oh,
that looks like a shaman.
That's hot, Al.
That looks like something that like Sam Jackson would wear in an upcoming movie where he's like a samurai.
Maybe I watched too much Soul, the movie, but it looks like you're behind, like playing something, playing a big bass going on there.
Al, you might need to consider that.
I'll tell you,
get some extensions.
Yeah, Jeff, I saw. I was watching a college football game a couple days ago, and I saw one of the players. He's on the sideline, and he had. It was a black dude, and had a tail. Black people used to call it growing a tail.
Oh, like a rat tail.
Yeah, and I think white folks call it a rat tail.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a tail.
You mean like Coming to America?
Yeah, that was called the Prince's Luck. Yes.
I tell my husband I want him to have a rat tail or a duck tail. I think
Yeah.
it's so
Oh, no,
sexy.
Sam,
Yes,
no.
I'm all in on the rat tail and the duck tail.
Well, the duck tail and the rat tail are different. The duck tail is thick and it's across the back.
That's why it's called the duck tail. It looks like a duck's tail. A rat tail is long and skinny. Looks like a rat's tail.
This is hilarious, but before we run out of time, we have to go back to you followed Brad Pitt to his house.
Yes, good job. Here's the deal, and I think I talked about it on the show before. So I once babysat for a woman, you guys know who the woman is, who lived directly across. I mean, I could throw a rock to their home, to Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston when they were married. So I was on Sunset Boulevard going up to the Bird Streets. This is like the Hollywood Hills. And I was behind Mr. Brad Pitt. He could tell I was behind him, and he thought I was following him.
Because you were.
Oh, you were?
No, I was not. I lived right next door to him because I was living at this house as I was babysitting. So I was still behind him, I could see him looking in the rearview mirror like, who's this crazy fan following me? No, dude, I lived right next to you. So then I go, and then while he pulled into his driveway, I made it very clear I was pulling into my driveway. I'm your neighbor, bro. At least
I like how Sam's trying to make that she's not crazy, but she's having an argument with an imaginary Brad Pitt right now. No, I'm not following you, Brad, and I'll see you later. You're literally having an argument with an imaginary person right now.
That's what I was doing in the car. He made me feel like I was crazy when I was just going to my job.
You proved him wrong today.
You didn't care it was Brad Pitt? You didn't care at all?
I did. Sure. I did play baseball with the kid I was babysitting outside right in front of his house quite a few times.
And the ball accidentally rolled up on his porch.
It rolled all the way to his bedroom.
I wanted to get to know Jennifer Aniston more than Brad Pitt, guys. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Welcome back to DBL. A former MMA fighter is facing capital murder in the disappearance and death of his ex-girlfriend and friend. Now, Cedric Marks, his story is unraveling an entire web of criminal history. Here is the latest on DBL's True Crime Chronicles.
Cedric Marks was well known in the ring. He was a former MMA fighter known as Spider-Man and also a trainer in Texas. The 45-year-old had a lengthy criminal past dating back to 1992, but laid low until recently. It was spring 2018. Cedric met a woman online named Jenna Scott. She was 28 years old, pursuing her master's degree and taking care of her young daughter. The couple dated briefly before Jenna called it quits, citing fear and abuse in Marks. In July, she filed a restraining order that read, "Twice, he choked me until I lost consciousness." Less than a month later, Cedric broke into Jenna's home and then fled. Fast forward to January 2019. Jenna and her friend, 32-year-old Michael Swearingen, were visiting friends in Temple, Texas, and never seen again.
And I believe my sister's being held hostage somewhere. Time is of the essence.
4 days after their disappearance, Cedric was arrested in Michigan for that August burglary charge at Jenna's home. He was in the process of being transferred to a Texas prison when he escaped from the car while the guards stopped at McDonald's to get food.
You can see him on the surveillance camera walking by a building here.
Cedric led police on a 9-hour manhunt in Texas until he was eventually found hiding in a trash can.
Despite what the media put out, I was not trying to escape. I was actually in fear, and I was not going anywhere.
Days later, Cedric's girlfriend at the time, Maya Maxwell, was arrested in Michigan for helping Cedric hide from police. Maya gave in and told investigators Cedric killed Michael and Jenna and buried their bodies. Police found their bodies buried in the small town of Clearview, Oklahoma, where Cedric had family ties to.
The nightmare's still there. Michael and Jenna are not coming back.
Cedric was charged with capital murder and is facing the death penalty. After that case came to light, Cedric also became a person of interest for the disappearance of April Pesey, the mother of one of his children. The two had a rocky relationship and were fighting for custody. April went missing in 2009 and hasn't been seen since.
Earlier, Eric and I spoke with a reporter following this case. Take a look. And we are joined by reporter Jasmine Caldwell from KSEN TV in Central Texas. Thank you so much for being here. So it's been a year since Cedric led police on that manhunt and was charged with killing his ex-girlfriend Jenna and her friend Michael. What's new, Jasmine? Where does this case stand right now?
Well, right now, Cedric Marks is still sitting in a Bell County jail on a $2 million bond awaiting trial. Now, because of COVID-19, some of those hearings have been delayed and slowed down. And because of the district attorney seeking the death penalty, those cases typically take a little longer here in the state of Texas. But I can tell you this. What's new is we learned that Cedric Marks' wife has agreed to testify against him after Cedric Marks allegedly killed Jenna Scott and Michael Swearingen. Now, after he allegedly killed them, he fled to Michigan, where his wife hid him and his new girlfriend from authorities. So it's going to be interesting to hear what she has to say.
Wow.
So there is a second person involved and charged in this case. Do we know what their motive was and what led up to this?
Well, as far as the motive, that's something that we're still hoping plays out in trial. Maya Maxwell was another one of Cedric Marks' girlfriends. Now, she told police she was in the home when he allegedly killed Jenna and Michael. She also was the one who drove Michael Swearingen's car to Austin, Texas, which is about an hour or so where the crime took place. She also helped bury their bodies in Oklahoma. Now, she has been charged with capital murder.
Wow. And here's where it gets interesting, Jasmine. The disappearance and deaths of Jenna and Michael actually helped expose Cedric's criminal background. Can you give us some insight into that?
Well, Cedric Marks was a former MMA fighter who went by the nickname of Spider-Man. Now, he also was a boxer here locally, and his criminal past goes way back to when he was a teenager. We learned that he spent 6 years in prison in the 90s in Oklahoma for assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, and 5 months after that release from prison, he was also arrested here in Texas for unlawfully carrying a weapon. But other than that, he's pretty much stayed out of the limelight until these crimes happened.
Wow. Well, we appreciate you, Jasmine. To learn more about this story, just visit KSNTV.com. You can also listen to a podcast episode about this case. Just search True Crime Chronicles on your favorite podcast player. Thank you, Jasmine. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
People are.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about helping people change their lives for the better. Watch how one man is inspiring others to build their career from the ground up.
This Barber College is giving young men a path to a brighter future. Dr. Gene Blackman opened Prestige Barbershop College in 2011.
There's two very important things that we provide to the community. One is hope, and the other is opportunity.
Prestige teaches barbering and entrepreneurship.
Understanding the business aspect of this industry is extremely important, and those were some things that I had to learn when I got out into the barber world that I try to teach my students here.
Graduates like Daryl Pope are ready to start and operate their own businesses.
So I was the oldest student here, but yet my skill set has tremendously increased, and I'm really owing that to Dr. Blackman in the Prestige College.
Thanks to Dr. Blackman, Prestige is much more than just a place to learn.
It represents a place of freedom, first and foremost, where you can be yourself. You can think about what you want to do as your career, what you want to do in life, and the kind of impact you want to make on life.
We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Tomorrow on DBL, Tiger Woods' other woman, Rachel Yucatel. She's breaking her silence for the first time in 10 years.
I don't want to live as a discount version of myself anymore, and I refuse to do so.
Why she's speaking up now in a new HBO documentary. And from RuPaul's Drag Race judges Michelle Visage and Carson Kressley, season 13 just dropped, and there's one celebrity guest they're dying to have on.
If there's a God, please let Dolly show up next year.
That's tomorrow, right here on DBL.
Okay, so we were just discussing who's the stalker now. You said you followed Mr.
Al Pacino. But real quick, I didn't want to tell the story on air, but now I guess I'm telling the story on air. Me and Jordan, my wife, were at a coffee place, and I saw Al Pacino, what I thought was Al Pacino. I'm like, that's Al Pacino. And we were getting in the car, and Jordan's like, what should I do? I'm like, well, follow him. So we followed him, and I looked up, and sure enough, it was his car from paparazzi pictures. And Jordan's like, what do you want me to do now? I'm like, turn around. What are we, psychos? So we followed him for like 3 blocks, but we did turn around. But I did follow him for a little bit.
Yeah, did follow him.
2 stalkers I'm in between.
Yep. DBL is new every day. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
About today on Daily Blast Live.
Today, the House moves to impeach President Trump for a second time. But will it be different for round 2, with even Mitch McConnell supporting his end in office? A reporter reaches her breaking point on live TV.
I apologize. I'm going to try to get through this.
What had her in tears? In today's True Crime Chronicles, the case of a former MMA fighter charged in the double murder of his ex-girlfriend and friend.
In my gut, in my heart, I knew it was him.
Could he be connected to other disappearances? And Real Housewife Shannon Beador dishes on her former castmates.
I just asked for you to keep it rolling because that tea you just served was piping hot.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, January 13th. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Al. Tori joining us from home. Tori, we match in our pinstripes and we didn't even plan it.
Oh my God, we're super fancy today.
Yep, great minds think alike. Okay, so let's get right to it because today is a very big day. It's actually a historic day. They are voting today on whether to impeach the president for the second time in just 13 months. The House began debating this morning, accusing the president of, quote, incitement of insurrection. So the question is, does this impeachment process feel different than the last time? Are we expecting a different result? Tori?
Let me be very clear. The president will be impeached. They already have the votes. They have enough people to take it in the House of Representatives. But remember, that doesn't mean much because after impeachment, you move to the Senate, and they have to convict in the Senate. I want you guys to keep your eyes on Mitch McConnell. He last night leaked to the New York Times, there's no way this got out without him wanting it to, that he thinks the president committed impeachable offenses. I could not explain to you how big that news is. He is the rudder of that ship, of the GOP ship. And if he turns his head to say, yes, let's convict, expect a domino effect in the Senate. Now, remember, they can also hold that conviction in the Senate after Joe Biden has taken the oath of office January 20th. They can do it afterwards. And I think that's what we're going to see.
Tori, I was going to ask, I thought I heard it, but I wanted to make sure that the impeachment can continue on after the Biden administration has completely taken over and he's no longer president-elect?
Yes, and Joe Biden spoke to Mitch McConnell last night, according to sources, and asked if they could affirm and consent his advisors on the cabinet at the same time they hold the Senate conviction. And he said, I'll get right back to you after speaking to the parliamentarian. So everyone seems to be on the same page. The purge of this GOP party from Trump has begun. Expect resignation or pardons to follow also.
Wow. How are you feeling, Jeff?
Is that a good idea, you think, Tori? Like, if this goes on into the Biden administration, is that something like the country, the Senate, the House, the government, do we really want that? Is that a good thing to finally find justice, or do we want to be done with this guy?
It's a really great question, but to be really done with this guy, a lot of you asked me, can he serve again? Can he run in 2024? And if the senators convict him, they then need a majority vote, which they would already have because it's 2/3, to say he can never hold office again. I think McConnell wants to put that period on the sentence and end the Trump era for the Republicans.
And I know, too, Republicans, Democrats, a lot of people just want accountability, and a lot of people want precedent for their children and for their grandchildren. So we can make sure that history doesn't repeat itself. So I know that's where I'm coming from.
Well, it's looking to repeat itself on the 20th, Sam.
Well, we will see. I hope not.
I mean, that's the talk. That's what the FBI is saying, and it's really scary. And Jeff, to your point, should we be done with this guy? Because I get that logic. Like this guy's moving out of the apartment. Let's not cause any more trouble. I think we have to set a precedent because of what happened. I meant to put on our group thread that we should have all watched the assault on the Capitol. It's on ABC. But when you watch that, you'll understand why it's so important that some people pay for what happened in there, because we were minutes away from what I believe to be a mass casualty event.
Gotta call it what it is. We are getting a lot of comments, and I always want to involve DBL Nation. So right here we have Patty on Facebook saying, I feel he should be impeached since he did the unthinkable as president by inciting a riot. Susan says, I'd rather we all stop talking about him. Let his time run out and the law deal with him. That's my opinion. You're not alone with that opinion either. And Laura says, no, he should not be impeached. He said to rally, not riot. Complete waste of money. Well, I guess we will have to agree to disagree, and that's okay. That's what the show is all about. So we all know this pandemic has been beyond difficult, actually unthinkably difficult on frontline workers. It's also been really hard on the people covering it, seeing the grief firsthand. So case in point, the emotional reaction CNN correspondent Sarah Seidner had on live TV. Watch.
This is the 10th hospital that I have been. I'm sorry. This is the 10th. I apologize. I'm going to try to get through this. This is the 10th hospital that I have been in. And to see the way that these families have to live after this and the heartache that goes so far and so wide. It's really hard to take.
Wow. Afterwards, Seidner tweeted, not my proudest moment as a reporter, but I could not hold this back. That breaks my heart for her. I can't even imagine what it must be like to be in news where you're supposed to be emotionless, right? Non-biased. You can never let your hair down. You can never speak from the cuff and from the heart like we do. And look at all the emotion that we hold on this show. And we're allowed to actually speak our feelings on this show. So I can't imagine what she must be going through. I do not think she's owed an apology.
No, I don't think so. And I think that's real, right? I think we kind of put Band-Aids on things and mask, especially in today's day and age. I hate to compare everything to social media, you guys know, but it's like, that's a way of communicating. You see a person, you're empathetic to what that person is going through, not because she's a reporter or she's a she, whatever. You're empathetic to that human being as a person because of what they're going through. This doesn't communicate that, right? You write something on social media, it doesn't communicate that in 140 characters. We're missing that emotion. We're putting Band-Aids on everything. It's okay, Jimmy. You got 10th place. You're a winner in my book. No, Jimmy, you're in 10th place, buddy. That's the reality, and we don't want to teach our kids that anymore. I don't want to go on a tirade because people don't like that. So you guys talk.
I'll just say, Jeff, I think we saw a human moment. I think that's why I always look sometimes when I'm bored, I'll look at news bloopers. Like, that's how I get that. Yes. Thank you, Tori. I'd love to see news bloopers, and I know it seems like, well, why would I compare that to this? I think that people look at news bloopers and look at serious moments like this because it's one of those few moments where you get to see real humanity on TV, things that are not documented. As I'm watching her clip, I remember back to when we covered the Thousand Oaks shooting and they were talking to that father, and everybody on the panel could not speak. I mean, it was it just really got to me in a way that very few things ever could. And that was a real human moment, and the people working here said, don't hide that. And I like to see that she is emoting how we all feel. Let's all stop saying we're fine, because nobody is fine. No one.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because Tori, you know, COVID has affected all of us, right? And we cover it, and you think that you can escape whatever you're dealing with at home, whether you yourself or your family's had COVID, or my family has COVID right now. I'll just call it what it is. They're going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. But,
we love you, Sam.
Thank you. I love you too. But the sobering moment for me, though, Tori, was just knowing how nervous I am about my family. And I'm lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones because I'm not treating COVID patients on top of that. So I think of the frontline healthcare workers who are also dealing with listening to COVID all day long. Perhaps they have family members that are sick or struggling with COVID as they speak. And then they have to go in and they have to hold someone's hand who has COVID. So that's the reality that this country is dealing with and this world is dealing with right now. And I have so much empathy for her. I'm so glad that she had that human moment, because millions of us can relate to her now.
100%. And to be honest with you, I grew up in hospitals because of my mom. And when you go to 10 hospitals and you see the same hallways filled with the same people yelling code blue, rushing, the sound of coughing, it becomes almost an overwhelming sense like you're in war. I mean, it's almost a trauma. So she saw a lot, and I'm glad she was able to express herself because she related to a lot of us that moment.
Amen. Amen. And thoughts to her, because I know that she's feeling guilty for some reason.
And thoughts to you too, Sam. You're dealing with this as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need to speak
Sam,
on that.
We love you.
Yeah.
We love you, and we love your family.
I'm a nervous wreck for my family right now, but they will be okay. They will be okay. They will be okay. Tori, sorry, I'm like at a loss for words right now. Hold on. Okay, Tori, stick around. We know those were some tough stories, so we're gonna lighten things up. Coming up, some great videos that'll make you feel good. We all could use some tender moments, of course, during these tough times. Plus, it's a wrap on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Wait till you find out what they gave their crew members as parting gifts. And Real Housewives of Orange County star Shannon Beador, she's spilling some major tea on one of her current castmates.
Viral videos. Two people removed from flights with claims saying they were put on the no-fly list following their participation in the Capitol riots last week. So is this true? Were these people put on a federal no-fly list? Well, to find out, we checked with United, American, and Southwest Airlines, as well as the Transportation Security Administration, or TSA. Short answer here, no. These people in the videos weren't removed because they were placed on a no-fly list. They were removed for breaking the airline's policies. United Airlines confirmed to us that in the last week alone, they've banned 60 people from flights for refusing to wear masks. The no-fly list, on the other hand, is actually up to the TSA. And according to them, they enforce the no-fly list based on FBI requests and congressional authorizations. See, no-fly restrictions are actually enforced before you try to get on a plane, but these people are all in the airport. If you're on a federal no-fly list, airlines shouldn't even issue a boarding pass, and you won't make it through security. So these people got to their flights, something happened, and the airlines removed them from the flight, which means claims these people were banned from their flight because they were put on the federal no-fly list are false. There are calls from some members of Congress right now to add any known convicted Capitol riot participants to that federal no-fly list, but as of now, that hasn't happened. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
Welcome back to DBL. The Real Housewives of Orange County wraps up its season tonight on Bravo. But earlier, Erica caught up with housewife Shannon Beador to dish all the drama. That's today's Chatting with the Stars.
Shannon Beador is coming in hot to DBL. How are you, Shannon?
I'm great. How are you?
I am wonderful. So I told you I am a huge Bravo-holic, so I am all about this. I watch every week. So, of course, at the beginning of the season, we realized that you had gone to the Un Amiga because the Tres Amigas were no longer as your former besties. Tamara Judge and the OG of the OC, Vicky Gumbelson, didn't return for this season. So how is the vibe different this time around?
Well, I mean, for me starting out, it was a little bit difficult because I really came into filming without a lot of close bonds with any of the women. I spent a lot of time with Bronwyn prior to filming, and I felt like I was close to Gina, but you know, I didn't know Elizabeth and Kelly and Emily, and I weren't getting along. So it was a little difficult.
Right now you have Bronwyn Wyndham Burke, who is going through a lot of transitions. She's decided to become sober. Congratulations to her. But she's also made a major life transition, although she's still married to her husband, Sean, but she's decided to pursue a relationship with a woman. Now, a lot of people are calling her actions disingenuous. How do you feel about it?
She's entitled to do whatever she wants to do. It's, you know, just a lot of it is, you look at the timing. You know, and sometimes it just seems like the timing is just a little too premeditated. After last season, Bronwyn told many of the cast members that her first season, like all this stuff about her wasn't true. She did it just to get on the show. She wasn't an author. That Love Shack thing was just a bunch of BS. And we're like, what?
That tea you just served was piping hot, so thank you so much for that. Now, I do want to address, obviously, we're still in a pandemic, and we saw how things rolled out for you guys in real time. We're very happy to hear that you and your family have recovered and that you're doing well. But how do you think you were vulnerable in a way that we had no information, and we're seeing you guys go through it in real time? Would you have changed anything that you did at the beginning of COVID?
Oh my goodness, like if I could just replay COVID all over again, because my girls and I were blessed that the virus never even went into my lungs because I have lung damage in each one. And so my fear that I was literally overcome by, especially at the beginning of COVID, was that it's not about that I cared about myself, it was that I wasn't gonna be around to be a mom for my kids. I mean, and that just petrified me. But I ate and drank. Like, I just wanted to escape. I didn't, you know, we're watching the news and they say we're gonna see a lot of death this week, and there were so many unknowns. I was overrun by fear. So I'm not happy about that. I'm not proud of it. So, you know, 2021 is here, and Shannon Storms is making some changes.
Well, Shannon Beador, girl, I want to wish you a happy new year. Thank you for all the laughs and the drama on the OC all these years. And DBL Nation, you have to catch the season finale of The Real Housewives of Orange County tonight on Bravo. Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back.
Ladies, what's the...
Welcome back to DBL. There's a lot going on in the world. So now more than ever, we definitely need some feel-good stories, myself included. So we've got a couple of viral videos that promise to make you smile. At first, check out the great news one teen got about his application to Duke.
Status update?
Status update.
Oh, it's in Vulcan Frank, and I was like, oh.
Oh my gosh, amen. All that hard work, sacrifice, blood, sweat, and tears. Boom, he got into his dream school.
How great is that? I remember when I got into Duke, it was, no, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, yeah, no, I don't even want to talk about me and this young man. That's so inspiring. And like, I just hope other young people see that. Like, that's how you get props, is like getting into Duke after you worked your butt off.
Yeah. And then when he's 30, he's like, I can't believe I'm still paying for Duke.
Ain't that the real truth? Okay, so next, along that same theme, Tori, check out this mom's reaction as she finds out her son passed the bar exam. Tori, how many times did you dream of taking the bar?
It's no joke, Sam. It's still on my vision board as to pass the bar. No joke. But I will say that the bar is harder than probably almost any test. It's over a couple days. It makes you a lawyer. Some bars are harder than others. So that emotion is all that person studied straight for like months for that news. So it's a huge deal. But I was telling Al and Jeff earlier, I lit some candles to get into Brown when I thought I got the letter and prayed, and then I opened the letter and I did not get in.
Oh, Tori, that's tough.
Way to end this segment, Tori.
Yeah. What a downer.
Wow. But you know what?
When you were applying to school, now it's different with sports. I know for me personally, because swimming, I was like going to a school specifically for swimming. And it's a long story, but you don't have to necessarily apply. So for me, at least as a swimmer, did you have to go through that as a football player?
I was going anywhere that they would take me.
Okay.
But you got in.
I got into a Division III school.
But
yeah,
why are you knocking it down, Jeff? You played college football, man. How many people can say that? That's a really great thing, man. Don't take that away from yourself.
Well, I didn't learn as much in school as I did today with Tori's example of the bar exam makes you a lawyer. I don't think anyone knew that.
Well, maybe someone doesn't know that. Tori.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people probably don't know that graduating law school doesn't automatically make you a lawyer.
That's a great point.
I think that is a weird, and then it's different in different states, and you can't practice law in a state you haven't practiced passed the bar in. So it's
if you get your real estate license, are you a real estate agent?
That's different.
You are the worst, Jeffrey Schroeder.
It's okay, Tori, exhale. All is good. Don't go away. Coming up on DBL, Jennifer Lopez is letting the world in on her anti-aging secrets. Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Why her routine speaks volumes about her discipline. Do not miss it.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
Hello.
Welcome back to DBL. Okay, we love sharing your comments. Denise says we all suffered due to COVID. I know because my wife passed on November 21st. I am so sorry to hear that, Dennis. All I have to say is practice social distancing, wear your mask. We have to look out for one another. Amen. Again, very sorry for your loss, Dennis. Donna says, Sam, we love you. I hope your family is okay and has a fast recovery. Thank you. And Robin says, sending love and good vibes. Sam, my family will be okay. They will be okay. It's just hard when it's literally all of them.
Yeah,
right?
It's I think we need to address this, and I don't want you to hide your tears, Sam. Our country is in this weird place, and this whole like keep your chin up, kid attitude is not going to work. We need to start talking to our citizens about serious mental health long term. My girl said last week, we are all traumatized from this. Our kids are not going to know how to interact with other kids. Everything that we've taught and interacted is gone. And we cannot attack each other on Twitter and say that here's a link to click on. No, we need to talk to our people about, what are you doing, Jeff? Are you okay? I love you. What do we need to do? Like, let's not go get drinks, because that's the last thing we need to do. We need to start talking about whether our brains are functioning normally after 2 years of trauma.
Listen, I preach it every day, and I think it's something we need to address.
Since we started the show.
Communication, empathy for what you're going through, Sam, and I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Thank you. It's going to be okay. They're okay. If you're sticking around, here's what's coming up on DBL. Did a former MMA fighter have anything to do with the death of his ex-girlfriend? That's in True Crime Chronicles. And Jennifer Lopez's insane diet and routine to stay sexy at 51. Sign me up for that.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Al. Tori joining us from home. Before we get started, I just want to thank you guys and, of course, all of our viewers for just all your support. We truly are all in this together. I appreciate you guys all more than I think you'll ever know. Okay, so
we love you.
I love you too, Tori.
Don't steal my answer, Tori.
And I love our DBL Nation. You guys are absolutely the best. And I'm sending all my thoughts and prayers to all of you who are going through it as well. We will get through this. It's officially a wrap on the filming of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The reality show family reportedly gave their production crew, you ready for this? A very pricey parting gift. According to Team Z, they spent $300,000 on 30 Rolex watches for the staff. On Friday, Kim toasted the crew in her backyard on their last day of filming the iconic show after 15 years, 20 seasons. Wow. Her sister Courtney also posted this behind-the-scenes shot of her last interview for the show. Wow, talk about a parting gift. You know our executive producer who loves Rolexes would have died. I would have pawned that in a second.
He helped me get mine
in a second.
Sam, I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to look at him, but this is how sure I am of what I'm about to say. Jeff, what do most quarterbacks get their offensive linemen at the end of a season?
I was going to actually go there, too. Yeah, they get them watches,
Rolexes?
Why? Yeah, they get them nice watches. Just for their...
The timing?
No, it's not symbolic.
I thought it was like a double entendre.
It's just usually like if a quarterback has a good season, they usually just gift their offensive lineman for protecting them, right? And a lot of people are going to look at this and say $300,000. That's all they spent. They're worth billions,
that's
right?
A lot of money.
Well, I know, but I think people out there,
of course,
not very chipper, should I say, on the internet.
Especially when it comes to the Kardashians.
Yeah, of course. And I think it's just a nice parting gift. They didn't have to do that. It has nothing to do with the price, how expensive it was. It was a thank you gift, just like a quarterback, Al, gives to his offensive lineman.
But a lot of people are struggling for money right now. I wouldn't be surprised if other people people, Tori, would take a page from my book and they would sell it.
Oh, I could totally see that, but I think the Kardashians would be fine with that. What's interesting is these guys grew up, like they grew up with Kylie, with Kendall, like decades of time with the same mic person, the same sound person, the same camera person. They've been there for the hardest times in their life and the funniest times. So I understand. I think that's a gracious gift. And I think also maybe because of the hands, they were saying, thanks for lending a hand, like on the watch.
Tori, see, you're all in the double. Yeah, you get it too.
I think we're reading into that a little bit.
I guarantee you there's symbolism. Guaranteed there's symbolism.
It's not a cave wall, Sam. It's a watch. What do you mean you're reading into it?
That's really sad that you don't read into it.
It's a watch.
Albert Jackson. So when I put a lot of thought into your gifts, which I do, you're just going to say, oh, Sam just got me a pocket square?
No,
in reality,
but I'm not going to look at the box and say, Sam means that the whole world is encased in this. And when I open it, it's really my feelings coming out along with the pocket square. No, I'll be like, you got me a nice pocket square.
Maybe I got you a nice pocket square because there's been some incidents where I've helped you place the pocket square. So that was like a symbolic relationship
that's
between the
never happened before.
Yes,
You've never placed my pocket square.
Yes, I did.
If we can find any footage of that, I will quit the show tomorrow.
She definitely has.
I definitely have.
She has.
How dare you not remember?
My
That
pocket
hurts
square
me.
game stays on 10.
Oh my
It's good. Look how locked in it is right there, just like me, locked in.
You don't remember the time? Actually, one of the many times I did it on the show, and I accidentally crossed our 6 feet.
I thought that was my mic.
No, honey, that was your pocket square.
All right, one time.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. Okay, looking like Jennifer Lopez does at 51, let me tell you, I guess it doesn't come easy. According to the Daily Mail, J-Lo sticks to a strict diet of about 1,400 calories a day. So that includes clean food, like fresh berries, kale, low-fat proteins. She also eats vegan when she wants to detox. She also stays out of the sun, except for when she's posting pics like this on the beach. Wow. She's a big fan of working out, hitting the gym 3 to 4 times a day, and has 2 trainers, one based in New York, the other based in LA, who is a well-known trainer to the stars, Tracy Anderson. Woo, that's a lot of work, but she looked good.
Listen, I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating kale, that's for sure. But here's my point.
Kick her out of bed?
What?
What do you mean kick her out of bed?
Well, I'm going to get there, okay? I'm going to take this to a dating point of view, right?
I like it.
Okay. I'm married, right? But would I be married to someone that works out 4 times a day, takes 1,400 calories in a day, that eats kale? I'm like, listen, it's Friday, let's have some wine, let's have a steak. It's Sunday, let's go get pizza and burgers with the kids. That's, if someone was like, no, I'm going to eat kale and I'll meet you at the gym, I'm going in for a 4th time, that's going to affect our relationship. Even though Jennifer Lopez is so beautiful, right? It's going to affect my relationship.
However,
that's where I'm going with that.
But I think J-Lo, remember, is with a type A athlete, right? She's with A-Rod. So those two go together really well.
What does that have anything to do with anything?
I think he works out 4 times a day, too.
Who cares if
I think he does what he's told. That's what I think happens.
I think that we're all missing the point, and it's the fact that...
Dang, Jeff.
First of all, whatever's happening with Sam next to me, I love it.
I like that they're like not showing me I accidentally fell.
I just looked at the TV and I saw you shrinking down. And I was like, am I getting taller as I'm speaking?
Go ahead.
I would just say this. I'm glad, Jeff, you talked about the working out and Tori. That was all good. Are we not going to address the fact that she had J-Lo on the back of her beach robe like she was Ric Flair?
Calf can.
That was super embarrassing. Anybody I know that has their name on the back of their clothing, that's a wrap.
It's amazing.
For me.
No, it's not amazing, Tori. I'm with Al on that one.
Thank you. That's super embarrassing. And stop kissing up, Tori. She's not coming on the show.
That reeks narcissism. And I'm with you, Jeff. I've always said, you know, like when they show like a beautiful body like Zac Efron, don't, Al. Al says he doesn't have a beautiful body. Now, Zac Efron, to me, has a beautiful body. To me, I like a little, you know, dirt under the nails, little pudge, because I think
I'm right here, Sam.
I think going to the gym every day is just not appealing to me. I'd rather have the person that I know on Friday night, we're gonna eat chips, salsa, a little margarita, not staring at themselves in the mirror, not like super careful and super conscientious. I like that they're health conscious, but to me, when it becomes too physically driven,
I think people
that's a
need a routine though, Sam.
Not that extreme, that's extreme.
J-Lo, if you've ever seen J-Lo behind the scenes, like getting ready for the Super Bowl or anything like a music video, she goes like this, she'll be like this, do it again. do it again. Do it again. She rehearses until her toes bleed.
Yeah,
so that's just her type of person.
She's a hustler, for sure. Okay, so Rob Lowe revealed he spotted his very famous neighbor recently speaking on the Late Late Show with James Corden. Rob said he saw Prince Harry at a stoplight driving to his Montecito home near Santa Barbara, but said he noticed something different about the Duke. Watch.
It looked to me, as a casual observer, that his hair had grown very long and was pulled back very tightly by what I can only assume was a ponytail.
I'm certain that isn't true. Do you know what I think's happened? I think you didn't see Prince Harry.
Oh, no, it was him, because I have to say I followed him to the house to see if the car went in.
I once did that to Brad Pitt. We don't have any, I'll get to it. Hold up, Jeff and Al, I'll get to it. We don't have any photos of the prince's new do. This is what we imagine he would look like with a ponytail.
If he was attacked by a cardinal? Why is his hair that color?
I wonder if Al and Jeff could pull off the pone. We have some photos of you, too.
I would like to rock one. I'm not even lying.
Let's see Jeff with the pone. Oh, a baby pone.
That looks dope.
That's not a bad look.
You look really
You
not
could be
cool.
just like a guru.
You do not look cool.
Yeah, sure.
Nope.
Say that to the pone.
No.
Talk to the pone. That's all I would say.
That's a weird, perky hipster pone. I'm not into
He could have a following with that. Jeff could have a congregation.
A following. It would have its own Instagram page.
Yeah, Jeff's here.
Oh my gosh. Let's see Al's pone.
Let's see.
Oh,
that looks like a shaman.
That's hot, Al.
That looks like something that Sam Jackson would wear in an upcoming movie where he's like a samurai.
Maybe I watched too much Soul, the movie, but it looks like you're behind, playing something, playing a big bass going on there.
Al, you might need to consider that.
I'll tell you.
Get some extensions.
Yeah, Jeff, I saw, I was watching a college football game a couple days ago, and I saw one of the players, he's on the sideline, and he had, it was a black dude and had a tail. Black people just call it growing a tail.
Oh, like a rat tail.
Yeah, and I think white folks call it a rat tail.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a tail.
You mean like Coming to America?
Yeah, that was called the Prince's Luck.
Gross.
Yes.
I tell my husband I want him to have a rat tail or a duck tail. I think
Yeah.
that's so
Oh, no,
sexy.
Sam,
yes,
no.
I'm all in on the rat tail and the duck tail.
Well, the duck tail and the rat tail are different. The duck tail is thick and it's across the back.
That's why it's called the duck tail. It looks like a duck's tail. A rat tail is long and skinny. Looks like a rat's tail.
This is hilarious, but before we run out of time, we have to go back to, you followed Brad Pitt to his house?
Yes, good job. Here's the deal, and I think I talked about it on the show before. So I once babysat for a woman, you guys know who the woman is, who lived directly across. I mean, I could throw a rock to their home, to Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston when they were married. So I was on Sunset Boulevard going up to the Bird Streets. This is like the Hollywood Hills. And I was behind Mr. Brad Pitt. He could tell I was behind him, and he thought I was following him.
Because you were.
Oh, you were?
No, I was not. I lived right next door to him because I was living at this house as I was babysitting. So I was still behind him, I could see him looking in the rearview mirror like, who's this crazy fan following me? No, dude, I lived right next to you. So then I go, and then while he pulled into his driveway, I made it very clear I was pulling into my driveway. I'm your neighbor, bro. At least
I like how Sam's trying to make that she's not crazy, but she's having an argument with an imaginary Brad Pitt right now. No, I'm not following you, Brad, and I'll see you later. You're literally having an argument with an imaginary person right now.
That's what I was doing in the car. He made me feel like I was crazy when I was just going to my job.
You proved him wrong today.
You didn't care it was Brad Pitt? You didn't care at all?
I did. Sure. I did play baseball with the kid I was babysitting outside right in front of his house quite a few times.
And the ball accidentally rolled up on his porch.
It rolled all the way to his bedroom.
I wanted to get to know Jennifer Aniston more than Brad Pitt, guys. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to DBL. A former MMA fighter is facing capital murder in the disappearance and death of his ex-girlfriend and friend. Now, Cedric Marks, his story is unraveling an entire web of criminal history. Here is the latest on DBL's True Crime Chronicles.
Cedric Marks was well known in the ring. He was a former MMA fighter known as Spider-Man and also a trainer in Texas. The 45-year-old had a lengthy criminal past dating back to 1992, but laid low until recently. It was spring 2018. Cedric met a woman online named Jenna Scott. She was 28 years old, pursuing her master's degree and taking care of her young daughter. The couple dated briefly before Jenna called it quits, citing fear and abuse in Marks. In July, she filed a restraining order that read, "Twice, he choked me until I lost consciousness." Less than a month later, Cedric broke into Jenna's home and then fled. Fast forward to January 2019. Jenna and her friend, 32-year-old Michael Swearingen, were visiting friends in Temple, Texas, and never seen again.
And I believe my sister's being held hostage somewhere. Time is of the essence.
4 days after their disappearance, Cedric was arrested in Michigan for that August burglary charge at Jenna's home. He was in the process of being transferred to a Texas prison when he escaped from the car while the guards stopped at McDonald's to get food.
You can see him on the surveillance camera walking by a building here.
Cedric led police on a 9-hour manhunt in Texas until he was eventually found hiding in a trash can.
Despite what the media put out, I was not trying to escape. I was actually in fear, and I was not going anywhere.
Days later, Cedric's girlfriend at the time, Maya Maxwell, was arrested in Michigan for helping Cedric hide from police. Maya gave in and told investigators Cedric killed Michael and Jenna and buried their bodies. Police found their bodies buried in the small town of Clearview, Oklahoma, where Cedric had family ties to.
The nightmare's still there. Michael and Jenna are not coming back.
Cedric was charged with capital murder and is facing the death penalty. After that case came to light, Cedric also became a person of interest for the disappearance of April Pesey, the mother of one of his children. The two had a rocky relationship and were fighting for custody. April went missing in 2009 and hasn't been seen since.
Earlier, Eric and I spoke with a reporter following this case. Take a look. And we are joined by reporter Jasmine Caldwell from KSEN TV in Central Texas. Thank you so much for being here. So it's been a year since Cedric led police on that manhunt and was charged with killing his ex-girlfriend Jenna and her friend Michael. What's new, Jasmine? Where does this case stand right now?
Well, right now, Cedric Marks is still sitting in a Bell County jail on a $2 million bond awaiting trial. Now, because of COVID-19, some of those hearings have been delayed and slowed down. And because of the district attorney seeking the death penalty, those cases typically take a little longer here in the state of Texas. But I can tell you this. What's new is we learned that Cedric Marks' wife has agreed to testify against him after Cedric Marks allegedly killed Jenna Scott and Michael Swearingen. Now, after he allegedly killed them, he fled to Michigan, where his wife hid him and his new girlfriend from authorities. So it's going to be interesting to hear what she has to say.
Wow.
So there is a second person involved and charged in this case. Do we know what their motive was and what led up to this?
Well, as far as the motive, that's something that we're still hoping plays out in trial. Maya Maxwell was another one of Cedric Marks' girlfriends. Now, she told police she was in the home when he allegedly killed Jenna and Michael. She also was the one who drove Michael Swearingen's car to Austin, Texas, which is about an hour or so where the crime took place. She also helped bury their bodies in Oklahoma. Now, she has been charged with capital murder.
Wow. And here's where it gets interesting, Jasmine. The disappearance and deaths of Jenna and Michael actually helped expose Cedric's criminal background. Can you give us some insight into that?
Well, yeah, Cedric Marks was a former MMA fighter who went by the nickname of Spider-Man. Now, he also was a boxer here locally, and his criminal past goes way back to when he was a teenager. We learned that he spent 6 years in prison in the 90s in Oklahoma for assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, and 5 months after that release from prison, he was also arrested here in Texas for unlawfully carrying a weapon. But other than that, he's pretty much stayed out of the limelight until these crimes happened.
Wow. Well, we appreciate you, Jasmine. To learn more about this story, just visit KSNTV.com. You can also listen to a podcast episode about this case. Just search True Crime Chronicles on your favorite podcast player. Thank you, Jasmine. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about helping people change their lives for the better. Watch how one man is inspiring others to build their career from the ground up.
This Barber College is giving young men a path to a brighter future. Dr. Gene Blackman opened Prestige Barbershop College in 2011.
There's two very important things that we provide to the community. One is hope, and the other is opportunity.
Prestige teaches barbering and entrepreneurship.
Understanding the business aspect of this industry is extremely important. And those were some things that I had to learn when I got out into the barber world that I try to teach my students here.
Graduates like Daryl Pope are ready to start and operate their own businesses.
So I was the oldest student here, but yet my skill set has tremendously increased, and I'm really owing that to Dr. Blackman in the Prestige College.
Thanks to Dr. Blackman, Prestige is much more than just a place to learn.
Here represent a place of freedom, first and foremost, where you can be yourself. You can think about what you want to do as your career, what you want to do in life, and the kind of impact you want to make on life.
We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Tomorrow on DBL, Tiger Woods' other woman, Rachel Yucatel. She's breaking her silence for the first time in 10 years.
I don't want to live as a discount version of myself anymore, and I refuse to do so.
Why she's speaking up now in a new HBO documentary. And from RuPaul's Drag Race judges Michelle Visage and Carson Kressley, season 13 just dropped, and there's one celebrity guest they're dying to have on.
If there's a God, please let Dolly show up next year.
That's tomorrow, right here on DBL.
Okay, so we were just discussing who's the stalker now? You said you followed Mr.
Al Pacino. But real quickly, I didn't want to tell the story on air, but now I guess I'm telling the story on air. Me and Jordan, my wife, were at a coffee place, and I saw Al Pacino, what I thought was Al Pacino. I'm like, that's Al Pacino. And we were getting in the car, and Jordan's like, what should I do? I'm like, well, follow him. So we followed him, and I looked up, and sure enough, it was his car from paparazzi pictures. And Jordan's like, what do you want me to do now? I'm like, turn around. What are we, psychos?
Yeah.
So we followed him for like 3 blocks, but we did turn around. But I did follow him for a little bit.
Yeah, did follow him.
2 stalkers I'm in between.
Yep. DBL is new every day. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
Talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Today, the House moves to impeach President Trump for a second time. But will it be different for round 2, with even Mitch McConnell supporting his end in office? A reporter reaches her breaking point on live TV.
I apologize. I'm going to try to get through this.
What had her in tears? In today's True Crime Chronicles, the case of a former MMA fighter charged in the double murder of his ex-girlfriend and friend.
In my gut, in my heart, I knew it was him.
Could he be connected to other disappearances? And Real Housewife Shannon Beador dishes on her former castmates.
I just asked for you to keep it rolling because that tea you just served was piping hot.
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, January 13th. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Al. Tori joining us from home. Tori, we match in our pinstripes and we didn't even plan it.
Oh my God, we're super fancy today.
Yep, great minds think alike. Okay, so let's get right to it because today is a very big day. It's actually a historic day. They are voting today on whether to impeach the president for the second time in just 13 months. The House began debating this morning, accusing the president of, quote, incitement of insurrection. So the question is, does this impeachment process feel different than the last time? Are we expecting a different result? Tori?
Let me be very clear. The president will be impeached. They already have the votes. They have enough people to take it in the House of Representatives. But remember, that doesn't mean much because after impeachment, you move to the Senate, and they have to convict in the Senate. I want you guys to keep your eyes on Mitch McConnell. He last night leaked to the New York Times, there's no way this got out without him wanting it to, that he thinks the president committed impeachable offenses. I could not explain to you how big that news is. He is the rudder of that ship, of the GOP ship, and if he turns his head to say, yes, let's convict, expect a domino effect in the Senate. Now, remember, they can also hold that conviction in the Senate after Joe Biden has taken the oath of office January 20th. They can do it afterwards, and I think that's what we're going to see.
Tori, I was going to ask, I thought I heard it, but I wanted to make sure that the impeachment can continue on after the Biden administration has completely taken over and he's no longer president-elect?
Yes, and Joe Biden spoke to Mitch McConnell last night, according to sources, and asked if they could affirm and consent his advisors on the cabinet at the same time they hold the Senate conviction. And he said, I'll get right back to you after speaking to the parliamentarian. So everyone seems to be on the same page. The purge of this GOP party from Trump has begun. Expect resignation or pardons to follow also.
Wow. How are you feeling, Jeff?
Is that a good idea, you think, Tori? Like, if this goes on into the Biden administration, is that something like the country, the Senate, the House, the government, do we really want that? Is that a good thing to finally find justice, or do we want to be done with this guy?
It's a really great question, but to be really done with this guy, a lot of you ask me, can he serve again? Can he run in 2024? And if the senators convict him, they then need a majority vote, which they would already have because it's 2/3, to say he can never hold office again. I think McConnell wants to put that period on the sentence and end the Trump era for the Republicans.
And I know, too, Republicans, Democrats, a lot of people just want accountability, and a lot of people want precedent for their children and for their grandchildren. So when we can make sure that history doesn't repeat itself. So I know that's where I'm coming from.
Well, it's looking to repeat itself on the 20th, Sam.
Well, we will see. I hope not.
I mean, that's the talk. That's what the FBI is saying, and it's really scary. And Jeff, to your point, should we be done with this guy? Because I get that logic. Like this guy's moving out of the apartment. Let's not cause any more trouble. I think we have to set a precedent because of what happened. I meant to put on our group thread that we were going to, we should have all watched the assault on the Capitol. It's on ABC. But when you watch that, you'll understand why it's so important that some people pay for what happened in there, because we were minutes away from what I believe to be a mass casualty event.
Got to call it what it is. We are getting a lot of comments, and I always want to involve DBL Nation. So right here we have Patty on Facebook saying, I feel he should be impeached since he did the unthinkable as president by inciting a riot. Susan says, I'd rather we all stop talking about him. Let his time run out and the law deal with him. That's my opinion. You're not alone with that opinion either. And Laura says, no, he should not be impeached. He said to rally, not riot. Complete waste of money. Well, I guess we will have to agree to disagree, and that's okay. That's what the show is all about. So we all know this pandemic has been beyond difficult, actually unthinkably difficult on frontline workers. It's also been really hard on the people covering it, seeing the grief firsthand. So case in point, the emotional reaction CNN correspondent Sarah Seidner had on live TV. Watch.
This is the 10th hospital that I have been. I'm sorry. This is the 10th. I apologize. I'm going to try to get through this. This is the 10th hospital that I have been in. And to see the way that these families have to live after this and the heartache that goes so far and so wide. It's really hard to take.
Wow. Afterwards, Seidner tweeted, not my proudest moment as a reporter, but I could not hold this back. That breaks my heart for her. I can't even imagine what it must be like to be in news where you're supposed to be emotionless, right? Non-biased. You can never let your hair down. You can never speak from the cuff and from the heart like we do. And look at all the emotion that we hold on this show. And we're allowed to actually speak our feelings on this show. So I can't imagine what she must be going through. I do not think she's owed an apology.
No, I don't think so. And I think that's real, right? I think we kind of put Band-Aids on things and mask, especially in today's day and age. I hate to compare everything to social media, you guys know, but it's like That's a way of communicating. You see a person, you're empathetic to what that person is going through, not because she's a reporter or she's a she, whatever. You're empathetic to that human being as a person because of what they're going through. This doesn't communicate that, right? You write something on social media, it doesn't communicate that in 140 characters. We're missing that emotion. We're putting Band-Aids on everything. It's okay, Jimmy. You got 10th place. You're a winner in my book. No, Jimmy, you're in 10th place, buddy. That's the reality, and we don't want to teach our kids that anymore. I don't want to go on a tirade because people don't like that. So you guys talk. Sorry.
I'll just say, Jeff, I think we saw a human moment. I think that's why I always look sometimes when I'm bored, I'll look at news bloopers. Like, that's how I get that. Yes. Thank you, Tori. I'd love to see news bloopers, and I know it seems like, well, why would I compare that to this? I think that people look at news bloopers and look at serious moments like this because it's one of those few moments where you get to see real humanity on TV, things that are not documented. As I'm watching her clip, I remember back to when we covered the Thousand Oaks shooting and they were talking to that father, and everybody on the panel could not speak. I mean, it was it just really got to me in a way that very few things ever could. And that was a real human moment, and the people working here said, don't hide that. And I like to see that she is emoting how we all feel. Let's all stop saying we're fine, because nobody is fine. No one.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because Tori, you know, COVID has affected all of us, right? And we cover it, and you think that you can escape whatever you're dealing with at home, whether you yourself or your family's had COVID, or my family has COVID right now. I'll just call it what it is. They're going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. But,
we love you, Sam.
Thank you. I love you too. But the sobering moment for me, though, Tori, was just knowing how nervous I am about my family. And I'm lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones because I'm not treating COVID patients on top of that. So I think of the frontline healthcare workers who are also dealing with listening to COVID all day long. Perhaps they have family members that are sick or struggling with COVID as they speak. And then they have to go in and they have to hold someone's hand who has COVID. So that's the reality that this country is dealing with and this world is dealing with right now. And I have so much empathy for her. I'm so glad that she had that human moment, because millions of us can relate to her now.
100%. And to be honest with you, I grew up in hospitals because of my mom. And when you go to 10 hospitals and you see the same hallways filled with the same people yelling code blue, rushing, the sound of coughing, it becomes almost an overwhelming sense like you're in war. I mean, it's almost a trauma. So she saw a lot, and I'm glad she was able to express herself because she related to a lot of us that moment.
Amen. Amen. And thoughts to her, because I know that she's feeling guilty
and
for some reason.
And thoughts to you too, Sam. You're dealing with this as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need to speak
Sam,
on
we
that.
love you.
Yeah.
We love you, and we love your family.
I'm a nervous wreck for my family right now, but they will be okay. They will be okay. They will be okay. Tori, sorry, I'm like at a loss for words right now. Hold on. Okay, Tori, stick around. We know those were some tough stories, so we're gonna lighten things up. Coming up, some great videos that'll make you feel good. We all could use some tender moments, of course, during these tough times. Plus, it's a wrap on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Wait till you find out what they gave their crew members as parting gifts. And Real Housewives of Orange County star Shannon Beador, she's spilling some major tea on one of her current castmates.
Viral videos. Two people removed from flights with claims saying they were put on the no-fly list following their participation in the Capitol riots last week. So is this true? Were these people put on a federal no-fly list? Well, to find out, we checked with United, American, and Southwest Airlines, as well as the Transportation Security Administration, or TSA. Short answer here, no. These people in the videos weren't removed because they were placed on a no-fly list. They were removed for breaking the airline's policies. United Airlines confirmed to us that in the last week alone, they've banned 60 people from flights for refusing to wear masks. The no-fly list, on the other hand, is actually up to the TSA. And according to them, they enforce the no-fly list based on FBI requests and congressional authorizations. See, no-fly restrictions are actually enforced before you try to get on a plane, but these people are all in the airport. If you're on a federal no-fly list, airlines shouldn't even issue a boarding pass, and you won't make it through security. So these people got to their flights, something happened, and the airlines removed them from the flight, which means claims these people were banned from their flight because they were put on the federal no-fly list are false. There are calls from some members of Congress right now to add any known convicted Capitol riot participants to that federal no-fly list, but as of now, that hasn't happened. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
Welcome back to DBL. The Real Housewives of Orange County wraps up its season tonight on Bravo. But earlier, Erica caught up with housewife Shannon Beador to dish all the drama. That's today's Chatting with the Stars.
Shannon Beador is coming in hot to DBL. How are you, Shannon?
I'm great. How are you?
I am wonderful. So I told you I am a huge Bravo-holic, so I am all about this. I watch every week. So, of course, at the beginning of the season, we realized that you had gone to the Un Amiga because the Tres Amigas were no longer as your former besties. Tamara Judge and the OG of the OC, Vicky Gumbelson, didn't return for this season. So how is the vibe different this time around?
Well, I mean, for me, starting out, it was a little bit difficult because I really came into filming without a lot of close bonds with any of the women. I spent a lot of time with Bronwyn prior to filming, and I felt like I was close to Gina, but you know, I didn't know Elizabeth and Kelly and Emily, and I weren't getting along. So it was a little difficult.
Right now you have Bronwyn Wyndham Burke, who is going through a lot of transitions. She's decided to become sober. Congratulations to her. But she's also made a major life transition, although she's still married to her husband, Sean, but she's decided to pursue a relationship with a woman. Now, a lot of people are calling her actions disingenuous. How do you feel about it?
She's entitled to do whatever she wants to do. You know, just a lot of it is, you look at the timing. You know, and sometimes it just seems like the timing is just a little too premeditated. After last season, Bronwyn told many of the cast members that her first season, like all this stuff about her wasn't true. She did it just to get on the show. She wasn't an author. That Love Shack thing was just a bunch of BS. And we're like, what?
That tea you just served was piping hot, so thank you so much for that. Now, I do want to address, obviously, we're still in a pandemic, and we saw how things rolled out for you guys in real time. We're very happy to hear that you and your family have recovered and that you're doing well. But how do you think you were vulnerable in a way that we had no information and we're seeing you guys go through it in real time? Would you have changed anything that you did at the beginning of COVID?
Oh my goodness, like if I could just replay COVID all over again, because my girls and I were blessed that the virus never even went into my lungs because I have lung damage in each one. And so my fear that I was literally overcome by, especially at the beginning of COVID, was that it's not about that I cared about myself, it was that I wasn't gonna be around to be a mom for my kids. I mean, and that just petrified me. But I ate and drank. Like, I just wanted to escape. I didn't, you know, we're watching the news and they say we're going to see a lot of death this week. And there were so many unknowns. I was overrun by fear. So I'm not happy about that. I'm not proud of it. So, you know, 2021 is here and Shannon Storms is making some changes.
Well, Shannon Beador, girl, I want to wish you a happy new year. Thank you for all the laughs and the drama on the OC all these years. And DBL Nation, you have to catch the season finale of The Real Housewives of Orange County tonight on Bravo. Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back.
Lady. Welcome back to DBL. There's a lot going on in the world. So now more than ever, we definitely need some feel-good stories, myself included. So we've got a couple of viral videos that promise to make you smile. At first, check out the great news one teen got about his application to Duke.
Status update?
Status update.
Oh, it said Vulcan Frank, and I was like, oh.
Oh my gosh, amen. All that hard work, sacrifice, blood, sweat, and tears. Boom, he got into his dream school.
How great is that? I remember when I got into Duke. It was, no, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, yeah, no, I don't even want to talk about me and this young man. That's so inspiring. And like, I just hope other young people see that. Like, that's how you get props, is like getting into Duke after you worked your butt off.
Yeah. And then when he's 30, he's like, I can't believe I'm still paying for Duke.
Ain't that the real truth? Okay, so next, along that same theme, Tori, check out this mom's reaction as she finds out her son passed the bar exam. Tori, how many times did you dream of taking the bar?
It's no joke, Sam. It's still on my vision board as to pass the bar. No joke. But I will say that the bar is harder than probably almost any test. It's over a couple days. It makes you a lawyer. Some bars are harder than others. So that emotion is all that person studied straight for like months for that news. So it's a huge deal. But I was telling Al and Jeff earlier, I lit some candles to get into Brown when I thought I got the letter and prayed, and then I opened the letter and I did not get in.
Oh, Tori, that's tough.
Way to end this segment, Tori.
Yeah. What a downer.
Wow. But you know what?
When you were applying to school, now it's different with sports. I know for me personally, because swimming, I was like going to a school specifically for swimming. And it's a long story, but you don't have to necessarily apply. So for me, at least as a swimmer, did you have to go through that as a football player?
I was going anywhere that they would take me.
Okay.
But you got in.
I got into a Division III school.
But
yeah,
why
I
are
didn't
you
go to
knocking
a
it
big
down,
school.
Jeff? You played college football, man. How many people can say that? That's a really
I'm
great
proud
thing,
of it.
man.
I'm
Don't
proud
take
of it.
that away from yourself.
Well, I didn't learn as much in school as I did today with Tori's example of the bar exam makes you a lawyer. I don't think anyone knew that.
Well, maybe someone doesn't know that. Story.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people probably don't know that graduating law school doesn't automatically make you a lawyer.
That's a great point.
I think
Right,
that
right,
is
right,
a weird,
right.
and then it's different in different states, and you can't practice law in a state you haven't practiced past the bar in. So it's
So
a weird.
if you get your real estate license, are you a real estate agent?
That's different.
You are the worst,
we'll
Jeffrey
tackle
Schroeder.
that
It's okay, Tori, exhale. All is good. Don't go away. Coming up on DBL, Jennifer Lopez is letting the world in on her anti-aging secrets. Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Why her routine speaks volumes about her discipline. Do not miss it.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
back to DBL. Okay, we love sharing your comments. Denise says we all suffered due to COVID. I know because my wife passed on November 21st. I am so sorry to hear that, Dennis. All I have to say is practice social distancing, wear your mask. We have to look out for one another. Amen. Again, very sorry for your loss, Dennis. Donna says, Sam, we love you. I hope your family is okay and has a fast recovery. Thank you. And Robin says, sending love and good vibes. Sam, my family will be okay. They will be okay. It's just hard when it's literally all of them, right?
It's I think we need to address this, and I don't want you to hide your tears, Sam. Our country is in this weird place, and this whole like keep your chin up kid attitude is not going to work. We need to start talking to our citizens about serious mental health long term. My girl said last week, we are all traumatized from this. Our kids are not going to know how to interact with other kids. Everything that we've taught and interacted is gone. And we cannot attack each other on Twitter and say that here's a link to click on. No, we need to talk to our people about, what are you doing, Jeff? Are you okay? I love you. What do we need to do? Like, let's not go get drinks, because that's the last thing we need to do. We need to start talking about whether our brains are functioning normally after 2 years of trauma.
Listen, I preach it every day, and I think it's something we need to address.
Since we started
need to
the show.
Have communication, empathy for what you're going through, Sam, and I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
Thank you. It's going to be okay. They're okay. If you're sticking around, here's what's coming up on DBL. Did a former MMA fighter have anything to do with the death of his ex-girlfriend? That's in True Crime Chronicles. And Jennifer Lopez's insane diet and routine to stay sexy at 51. Sign me up for that.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff and Al. Tori joining us from home. Before we get started, I just want to thank you guys and, of course, all of our viewers for just all your support. We truly are all in this together. I appreciate you guys all more than I think we'll ever know. Okay, so
we love you.
I love you too, Tori.
Don't steal my answer, Tori.
And I love our DBL Nation. You guys are absolutely the best. And I'm sending all my thoughts and prayers to all of you who are going through it as well. We will get through this. It's officially a wrap on the filming of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The reality show family reportedly gave their production crew, you ready for this? a very pricey parting gift. According to Team Z, they spent $300,000 on 30 Rolex watches for the staff. On Friday, Kim toasted the crew in her backyard on their last day of filming the iconic show after 15 years, 20 seasons.
Wow.
Her sister Courtney also posted this behind-the-scenes shot of her last interview for the show. Wow, talk about a parting gift. You know our executive producer who loves Rolexes would have died. I would have pawned that in a second.
He helped me get mine
in a second.
Sam, I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to look at him, but this is how sure I am of what I'm about to say. Jeff, what do most quarterbacks get their offensive linemen at the end of a season?
I was going to actually go there, too. Yeah, they get them watches. Yeah.
Talk to them for why?
Yeah, they get them nice watches. Just for their...
The timing?
No, it is not. It's not symbolic.
I thought it was like a double entendre.
It's just usually like if a quarterback has a good season, they usually just gift their offensive lineman for protecting them, right? And a lot of people are going to look at this and say $300,000. That's all they spent. They're worth billions,
That's
right?
a lot of money.
Well, I know, but I think people out there,
of course,
not very chipper, should I say, on the internet.
Especially when it comes to the Kardashians.
Yeah, of course. And I think it's just a nice parting gift. They didn't have to do that. It has nothing to do with the price, how expensive it was. It was a thank you gift, just like a quarterback, Al, gives to his offensive lineman.
But a lot of people are struggling for money right now. I wouldn't be surprised if other people, Tori, would take a page from my book and they would sell it.
I could totally see that, but I think the Kardashians would be fine with that. What's interesting is these guys grew up, like they grew up with Kylie, with Kendall, like decades of time with the same mic person, the same sound person, the same camera person. They've been there for the hardest times in their life and the funniest times. So I understand. I think that's a gracious gift. And I think also maybe because of the hands, they were saying, thanks for lending a hand, like on the watch.
Tori, see, you're all in the double. Yeah, you get it too.
I think we're reading into that a little bit.
I guarantee you there's symbolism. Guaranteed there's symbolism.
It's not a cave wall, Sam. It's a watch. What do you mean you're reading into it?
That's really sad that you don't read into it.
It's a watch.
Albert Jackson. So when I put a lot of thought into your gifts, which I do, you're just going to say, oh, Sam just got me a pocket square?
No,
in reality,
but I'm not going to look at the box and say, Sam means that the whole world is encased in this. And when I open it, it's really my feelings coming out along with the pocket square.
Or
I'll be like, you got me a nice pocket square.
Maybe I got you a nice pocket square because there's been some incidents where I've helped you place the pocket square. So that was like a symbolic relationship
because that's never happened before.
Yes,
You've never placed my pocket square.
Yes, I did.
If we can find any footage of that, I will quit the show tomorrow.
She definitely has.
I definitely have.
She has.
How dare you not remember?
My
that
pocket square
me.
game stays on 10.
Oh my
It's good. Look how locked in it is right there, just like me, locked in.
You don't remember the time? Actually, one of the many times I did it on the show, and I accidentally crossed our 6 feet.
I thought that was my mic.
No, honey, that was your pocket square.
All right, one time.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. Okay, looking like Jennifer Lopez does at 51, let me tell you, I guess it doesn't come easy. According to the Daily Mail, J-Lo sticks to a strict diet of about 1,400 calories a day. So that includes clean food, like fresh berries, kale, low-fat proteins. She also eats vegan when she wants to detox. She also stays out of the sun, except for when she's posting pics like this on the beach. Wow. She's a big fan of working out, hitting the gym 3 to 4 times a day, and has 2 trainers, one based in New York, the other based in LA, who is a well-known trainer to the stars, Tracy Anderson. Whew, that's a lot of work, but she looked good.
Listen, I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating kale, that's for sure. But here's my point.
Kick her out of bed?
What?
What do you mean kick her out of bed?
Well, I'm going to get there, okay? I'm going to take this to a dating point of view, right?
I like it.
Okay. I'm married, right? But would I be married to someone that works out 4 times a day, takes 1,400 calories in a day, that eats kale? I'm like, listen, it's Friday, let's have some wine, let's have a steak. It's Sunday, let's go get pizza and burgers with the kids. That's if someone was like, no, I'm going to eat kale and I'll meet you at the gym, I'm going in for a 4th time, that's going to affect our relationship. Even though Jennifer Lopez is so beautiful, right? It's going to affect my relationship.
However,
that's where I'm going with that.
But I think J-Lo, remember, is with a type A athlete, right? She's with A-Rod. So those two go together really well.
What does that have anything to do with anything?
I think he works out 4 times a day, too.
Who cares if he
I think he does what he's told. That's what I think happens.
I think that we're all missing the point, and it's the fact that...
Dang, Jeff.
First of all, whatever's happening with Sam next to me, I love it.
I like that they're like showing me I accidentally fell.
I just looked at the TV, and I saw you shrinking down. And I was like, am I getting taller as I'm speaking?
Go ahead.
I would just say this. I'm glad, Jeff, you talked about the working out, and Tori, that was all good. Are we not going to address the fact that she had J-Lo on the back of her beach robe like she was Ric Flair?
Calf can.
That was super embarrassing. Anybody I know that has their name on the back of their clothing, that's a wrap.
It's amazing.
For me.
No, it's not amazing, Tori.
No.
I'm with Al on that one.
Thank you. That's super embarrassing. And stop kissing up, Tori. She's not coming on the show.
That reeks narcissism. And I'm with you, Jeff. I've always said, you know, like when they show like a beautiful body, like Zac Efron, don't, Al. Al says he doesn't have a beautiful body. Now, Zac Efron, to me, has a beautiful body. To me, I like a little, you know, dirt under the nails, little pudge, because I think
I'm right here, Sam.
I think going to the gym every day is just not appealing to me. I'd rather have the person that I know on Friday night, we're gonna eat chips, salsa, a little margarita, not staring at themselves in the mirror, not like super careful and super conscientious. I like that they're health conscious, but to me, when it becomes too physically driven,
I think people
that's a
need a
turn off.
routine, though, Sam.
Not that extreme. That's
and
extreme.
J-Lo, if you've ever seen J-Lo behind the scenes, like getting ready for the Super Bowl or anything like a music video, she goes like this. She'll be like this. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. She rehearses until her toes bleed.
Yeah,
so that's just her type of person.
She's a hustler, for sure. Okay, so Rob Lowe revealed he spotted his very famous neighbor recently speaking on the Late Late Show with James Corden. Rob said he saw Prince Harry at a stoplight driving to his Montecito home near Santa Barbara, but said he noticed something different about the Duke. Watch.
It looked to me, as a casual observer, that his hair had grown very long and was pulled back very tightly by what I can only assume was a ponytail.
I'm certain that isn't true. Do you know what I think's happened? I think you didn't see Prince Harry.
Oh, no, it was him, because I have to say I followed him to the house to see if the car went in.
I once did that to Brad Pitt. We don't have any, I'll get to it. Hold up, Jeff and Al, I'll get to it. We don't have any photos of the prince's new do. This is what we imagine he would look like with a ponytail.
If he was attacked by a cardinal? Why is his hair that color?
I wonder if Al and Jeff could pull off the pone. We have some photos of you two.
I would like to rock one. I'm not even lying.
Let's see Jeff with the pone. Oh, a baby pone.
That looks dope.
That's not a bad look.
You look really
You
not
could be
cool.
just like a guru.
You do not look cool.
Yeah, sure.
Nope.
Say that to the pone.
No.
Talk to the pone. That's all I would say.
That's a weird, perky hipster pone. I'm not into it.
He could have a following with that. Jeff could have a congregation.
A following. It would have its own Instagram page.
Yeah, Jeff's here.
Oh my gosh. Let's see Al's pone.
Let's see.
Oh,
that looks like a shaman.
That's hot, Al.
That looks like something that like Sam Jackson would wear in an upcoming movie where he's like a samurai.
Maybe I watched too much Soul, the movie, but it looks like you're behind, like playing something, playing a big bass going on there.
Al, you might need to consider that.
I'll tell you.
Get some extensions.
Yeah, Jeff, I saw, I was watching a college football game a couple days ago, and I saw one of the players. He's on the sideline, and he had, it was a black dude, and had a tail. Black people just call it growing a tail.
Oh, like a rat tail.
Yeah, and I think white folks call it a rat tail.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a tail.
You mean like Coming to America?
Yeah, that was called the Prince's Luck. Yes.
I tell my husband I want him to have a rat tail or a duck tail. I think
Yeah.
that's so
Oh, no,
sexy.
Sam,
Yes,
no.
I'm all in on the rat tail and the duck tail.
Well, the duck tail and the rat tail are different. The duck tail is thick and it's across the back.
That's why it's called the duck tail. It looks like a duck's tail. A rat tail is long and skinny. Looks like a rat's tail.
This is hilarious, but before we run out of time, we have to go back to you followed Brad Pitt to his house.
Yes, well, here's the deal. And I think I talked about it on the show before. So I once babysat for a woman, you guys know who the woman is, who lived directly across. I mean, I could throw a rock to their home, to Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston when they were married. So I was on Sunset Boulevard going up to the Bird Streets. This is like the Hollywood Hills. And I was behind Mr. Brad Pitt. He could tell I was behind him, and he thought I was following him.
Because you were.
Oh, you were?
No, I was not. I lived right next door to him because I was living at this house as I was babysitting. So I was still behind him, still behind him. I could see him looking in the rearview mirror like, who's this
crazy fan following me. No, dude, I lived right next to you. So then I go, and then while he pulled into his driveway, I made it very clear I was pulling into my driveway. I'm your neighbor, bro. At least
All right. I like how Sam's trying to make that she's not crazy, but she's having an argument with an imaginary Brad Pitt right now. No, I'm not following you, Brad, and I'll see you later. You're literally having an argument with an imaginary person right now.
That's what I was doing in the car. He made me feel like I was crazy when I was just going to my job.
You proved him wrong today.
You didn't care it was Brad Pitt? You didn't care at all?
I did. Sure. I did play baseball with the kid I was babysitting outside right in front of his house quite a few times.
And the ball accidentally rolled up on his porch.
It rolled all the way to his bedroom.
I wanted to get to know Jennifer Aniston more than Brad Pitt, guys. We'll be right back. Welcome back to DBL. A former MMA fighter is facing capital murder in the disappearance and death of his ex-girlfriend and friend. Now, Cedric Marks, his story is unraveling an entire web of criminal history. Here is the latest on DBL's True Crime Chronicles.
Cedric Marks was well known in the ring. He was a former MMA fighter known as Spider-Man and also a trainer in Texas. The 45-year-old had a lengthy criminal past dating back to 1992, but laid low until recently. It was spring 2018. Cedric met a woman online named Jenna Scott. She was 28 years old, pursuing her master's degree and taking care of her young daughter. The couple dated briefly before Jenna called it quits, citing fear and abuse in Marks. In July, she filed a restraining order that read, "Twice, he choked me until I lost consciousness." Less than a month later, Cedric broke into Jenna's home and then fled. Fast forward to January 2019. Jenna and her friend, 32-year-old Michael Swearingen, were visiting friends in Temple, Texas, and never seen again.
And I believe my sister's being held hostage somewhere. Time is of the essence.
4 days after their disappearance, Cedric was arrested in Michigan for that August burglary charge at Jenna's home. He was in the process of being transferred to a Texas prison when he escaped from the car while the guards stopped at McDonald's to get food.
You can see him on the surveillance camera walking by a building here.
Cedric led police on a 9-hour manhunt in Texas until he was eventually found hiding in a trash can.
Despite what the media put out, I was not trying to escape. I was actually in fear, and I was not going anywhere.
Days later, Cedric's girlfriend at the time, Maya Maxwell, was arrested in Michigan for helping Cedric hide from police. Maya gave in and told investigators Cedric killed Michael and Jenna and buried their bodies. Police found their bodies buried in the small town of Clearview, Oklahoma, where Cedric had family ties to.
The nightmare's still there. Michael and Jenna are not coming back.
Cedric was charged with capital murder and is facing the death penalty. After that case came to light, Cedric also became a person of interest for the disappearance of April Pesey, the mother of one of his children. The two had a rocky relationship and were fighting for custody. April went missing in 2009 and hasn't been seen since.
Earlier, Eric and I spoke with a reporter following this case. Take a look. And we are joined by reporter Jasmine Caldwell from KSEN TV in Central Texas. Thank you so much for being here. So it's been a year since Cedric led police on that manhunt and was charged with killing his ex-girlfriend Jenna and her friend Michael. What's new, Jasmine? Where does this case stand right now?
Well, right now, Cedric Marks is still sitting in a Bell County jail on a $2 million bond awaiting trial. Now, because of COVID-19, some of those hearings have been delayed and slowed down. And because of the district attorney seeking the death penalty, those cases typically take a little longer here in the state of Texas. But I can tell you this. What's new is we learned that Cedric Marks' wife has agreed to testify against him after Cedric Marks allegedly killed Jenna Scott and Michael Swearingen. Now, after he allegedly killed them, he fled to Michigan, where his wife hid him and his new girlfriend from authorities. So it's going to be interesting to hear what she has to say.
Wow.
So there is a second person involved and charged in this case. Do we know what their motive was and what led up to this?
Well, as far as the motive, that's something that we're still hoping plays out in trial. Maya Maxwell was another one of Cedric Marks' girlfriends. Now, she told police she was in the home when he allegedly killed Jenna and Michael. She also was the one who drove Michael Swearingen's car to Austin, Texas, which is about an hour or so where the crime took place. She also helped bury their bodies in Oklahoma. Now, she has been charged with capital murder.
Wow. And here's where it gets interesting, Jasmine. The disappearance and deaths of Jenna and Michael actually helped expose Cedric's criminal background. Can you give us some insight into that?
Well, Cedric Marks was a former MMA fighter who went by the nickname of Spider-Man. Now, he also was a boxer here locally, and his criminal past goes way back to when he was a teenager. We learned that he spent 6 years in prison in the 90s in Oklahoma for assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, and 5 months after that release from prison, he was also arrested here in Texas for unlawfully carrying a weapon. But other than that, he's pretty much stayed out of the limelight until these crimes happened.
Wow. Well, we appreciate you, Jasmine. To learn more about this story, just visit KSENTV.com. You can also listen to a podcast episode about this case. Just search True Crime Chronicles on your favorite podcast player. Thank you, Jasmine. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back to DBL. Today's Heart Threads is all about helping people change their lives for the better. Watch how one man is inspiring others to build their career from the ground up.
This Barber College is giving young men a path to a brighter future. Dr. Gene Blackman opened Prestige Barbershop College in 2011.
There's two very important things that we provide to the community. One is hope, and the other is opportunity.
Prestige teaches barbering and entrepreneurship.
Understanding the business aspect of this industry is extremely important. And those were some things that I had to learn when I got out into the barber world that I try to teach my students here.
Graduates like Daryl Pope are ready to start and operate their own businesses.
So I was the oldest student here, but yet my skill set has tremendously increased, and I'm really owing that to Dr. Blackman in the Prestige College.
Thanks to Dr. Blackman, Prestige is much more than just a place to learn.
Here represent a place of freedom, first and foremost, where you can be yourself. You can think about what you want to do as your career, what you want to do in life, and the kind of impact you want to make on life.
We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
on DBL. Tiger Woods' other woman, Rachel Yucatel. She's breaking her silence for the first time in 10 years.
I don't want to live as a discount version of myself anymore, and I refuse to do so.
Why she's speaking up now in a new HBO documentary. And from RuPaul's Drag Race judges Michelle Visage and Carson Kressley, season 13 just dropped, and there's one celebrity guest they're dying to have on.
If there's a God, please let Dolly show up next year.
That's tomorrow, right here on DBL.
Okay, so we were just discussing who's the stalker now? You said you followed Mr.
Al Pacino. But real quickly, I didn't want to tell the story on air, but now I guess I'm telling the story on air. Me and Jordan, my wife, were at a coffee place, and I saw Al Pacino, what I thought was Al Pacino. I'm like, that's Al Pacino. And we were getting in the car, and Jordan's like, what should I do? I'm like, well, follow him. So we followed him, and I looked up, and sure enough, it was his car from paparazzi pictures. And Jordan's like, what do you want me to do now? I'm like, turn around. What are we, psychos? Yeah. So we followed him for like 3 blocks, but we did turn around. But I did follow him for a little bit.
Yeah, did follow him.
2 stalkers I'm in between.
Yep. DBL is new every day. We'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
Thank you.